Now listening to The Joint Committee.
See, I like when it just rolls.
Welcome to another session of the Joint Committee Sessions. I am one of your co-hosts, Lupino, along with Mr. Bond, 420, and East Coast Dam. Today will be one of our guests, Mr. Dabsanoa, Mr. La La La, Mr. I'm fucking late. Focus 401. So when he gets here, this is what I'm gonna hit for him, yo. What's up, fellas? How's it going?
What is up?
That was
Guys.
interesting. That was loud. I saw you miking the
Yo,
red
see
the
that
whole
too? The
time.
beat real big. Yo, I use that thing everywhere actually. Like it's it's not like super loud when you're like in public, but it's just loud enough for my kids to hear and annoy them. Like, cause I've been like,
you were loud enough for the kids to hear a few seconds ago.
it's just I don't know. If life had theme music,
Yo,
It's good energy.
it would have like little sound effects too.
this isn't a standard typical day in the weed history analogs of time here, because they're attacking this whole vape shit like it's fucking insane.
I know.
Okay, and I have mixed emotions about it, because ultimately, yeah, it's dangerous for a lot of reasons when it's coming unregulated from a lot of places and all this shit that they're talking about. And I'm only talking about the THC carts that are coming from apartment fucking, third floor apartments or from wherever. I'm not even talking about the jewels and the vape juice. That shit is garbage. Holy shit.
Well, what we need to do is look at the people who were around when cigarettes got big.
Hold on.
And see what they say.
I want to say, but to me, I look at this situation that's going on right now, and to me, I'm thinking this is some type of diversion for something else that's going on in the world, because
Yeah, the impeachment.
something's you know what? Because honestly, even if you want to call it 100 people die from anything. How many people die from cigarettes?
You could say
every single fucking
10,000
day.
people.
But how many people die? How many people die from cigarettes?
I get it.
But then a handful of people die,
Yeah.
and now they have to make a fucking world of change swift swoop down, and it's like, come on, who's sponsoring this?
Dude, so I've been watching
Well,
the
it's
steady
not
increase in
sponsoring.
this.
It's heavy
No,
illegal lobbying.
No,
Well, that's another word for sponsoring.
Yeah.
Who's
But
lobbying to get this
Here's the thing.
crushed overnight?
no, the nicotine companies bought these jewel companies. The cigarette companies bought them.
No,
It's not the other way. It's not like
No, they didn't.
Dude, you know what this just did?
They're
Do you know
all
what this just
independent.
did
They're
for
not owned
cigarette
by
sales?
Philip Morris or anything.
Do you know what this just did for cigarette sales?
Absolutely. And
All the people that
everything.
are truly trying to quit, and they're whatever. I don't even know what it's like,
Well, you know
because
what's fucked
I don't have
up
to
is
deal with that. But
I'm one of them. I smoked for fucking 28 years cigarettes.
mm-hmm.
Smoked 1 year, barely 1 year, on a real like a vape, not like THC or anything.
Yeah.
Just a regular
Vape juice.
vape juice.
Yuck.
But yeah, I mean, exactly. And I was always the one even reading the ingredients on all the ones that I would smell or check out when you're in the store, and I did a little research, and
But-
I was told that the propylene glycol ones are bad worse for you than the
The MCTs or the VGs.
the VGs.
Yeah.
But
usually-
vegetable glycerin.
Usually it's a combo though. Usually it's not pure one or the other. It's a mix 70-30, 60-40. There's usually a ratio.
Yeah.
Plus, not to
Yeah.
mention, even when you're looking at all the ingredients on all those vape juices and shit.
It's not regulated.
no, it's true. You're smoking vegetable oil. Like
And
I joke with my
there's-
friends like that. Doing like that. I was like, he's like, yo, it's like, how does that vegetable oil taste to you?
With a little
Like-
nicotine in it.
And,
Yeah, with
and let's
nicotine
not
and
forget.
some
Let's
flavor.
not
But
forget.
it did. I
like
quit
peach.
smoking cigarettes.
But-
I don't smoke
Well,
cigarettes
that's
anymore.
so.
from
This
it.
thing has been around for a long time, right? And it's only up to
Well-
now this became really popular, and the reason ends up being because of the fact that you can it was you couldn't interchange it, right? It was just like
Well,
almost
yeah.
like it ended up being almost like a medication, as far as like the that type of cigarette smoking, and it didn't have flavors. like it does now. And also, you couldn't like mix your own. You could, like it's scary. Like those little tiny jars of like nicotine, like a few drops can like kill you. Like it's not like, well, maybe I might be exaggerating, but enough of that little bit of jar can actually end up killing somebody because it's too much. But so what happened is that
the thing is,
you got these
where it got
kids
bad
mixing
is
them up.
They started. It was always, you could always do a mix and stuff like that, and there was cartridges that you could fill yourself, and then there was some that you had to literally soak the piece of wick or cotton that was in there every time you wanted to take a hit. There was something like that. It got big. They started making fucking competitions for it to see who could blow the biggest clouds,
right?
Who could do the biggest tricks.
Now, can I just say one thing?
It got hold on.
It is pretty cool.
It rolled. It is kind of cool, but
it's kind of cool.
Not really.
No,
when you know,
lots of things are cool that aren't good for you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what happened is all these kids started doing it excessively. They're nonstop on that fucking thing. When you see them doing it, and it's like,
dude, I see clouds come out of people's cars on the highway.
I know.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? Is that car on fire?
Back in the day, somebody was smoking a blunt or smoking a joint.
Not
now,
even like, oh no, that had to be a fishbowl unleashing.
Is what's gonna happen, and I'm calling it right now. Mark my words. What's gonna happen is they're gonna go, okay, well, the bigger companies of vapes, that actually have made serious money prior to what's going on.
Juul made a couple billion.
They're going to
serious.
Put a regulation on it, just like cigarettes put a thing on their package, and it's gonna go back to what it was. But they're gonna be regulated, and just like the cannabis community. All these guys that are going out and spending either sometimes their hard-earned saved money or their buddies, investors, couple $1,000,000, they have to be regulated. They, everything's seed to sale. How many pounds of stems are there? How many pounds of leaves? How many pounds of the actual product that's going on the shit? Everything's regulated. So everything in that world of vapes is not that. We could do a vape thing right here where we are right now. Mm-hmm. Well, not anymore, but we could have been making our own stupid juice.
I think you still do it in Rhode Island. It's illegal.
She's gonna.
Yeah, she's talking about.
She's gonna do it.
So this is what like.
But before you start, does everyone who's listening right now realize you're the guinea pigs for this vape shit?
I said it, and I hated
no one.
it.
I mean, this could.
It, but
I don't want to say it is because I have no idea. But this could be worse than cigarettes.
Well, we don't know, right? And I said
all right.
that.
So this is
so new.
So this is where like
that's why we need
the
to go
media
back
ends
to
up.
the cigarette people who were like, "Holy shit, cigarettes are killing people. What did we do about it?"
So
and
I
they're
think
going to tell us exactly what.
I think that
they already went through it.
You really got to take the whole media thing into consideration, right?
Of course,
because this is what they said. I swear to you, and I was like, that shit doesn't fucking make any sense. When the fuck did 8 make it a medical crisis? A fucking 8. Like, dude, we have 365 million people. 8, we have to deal with this vape crisis.
Bro, go drive down.
How the fuck is that a crisis?
Go drive down by Mass General Hospital and just look around and you go, that's a crisis. Whatever the fuck going on here?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's a crisis.
Yeah.
But
a
fucking vape crisis?
That's why I'm saying
it's sad.
This is some type of diversion. This is a diversion.
It's a huge business.
Look,
that's what it is.
diversion. Look, guys.
I think they want to cut out the
it's
smaller ones out of the business
it's
and just have the big boys play.
It's conspiracy time of year. This is when this shit happens all the time.
Right.
October, November, September. There's always diversions because there's a lot of political things happening that you usually got to divert people from.
Well, and here's the other thing. It's not
even that shit. I'm
telling you right now, it wasn't a lot of the nicotine ones that were killing people or giving people lung problems. It was definitely the cannabis ones because fucking Brandon 3rd Gen's been talking about it and I've been saying it, and a couple other people in my field have said it. that shit that they're putting in those fucking carts for you to be puffing away on and getting fucking wrecked is garbage. It's hot dog water. It's poop. Don't smoke it. But yeah, they'll still go, and I just found this out. Them carts are worth fucking 60, 70, 80 bucks.
Oh, yeah.
At those fucking dispensaries.
What carts?
Yeah.
The
I know.
Things.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you fucking serious?
And
right
they're
now?
selling them. Well, they were selling them fucking left and right.
Well, when I'm sure once they found out that the vitamin E could be a,
Massachusetts can't sell them for 4 months.
I know that
You know how fucked people are.
No shit. Cause
Wait.
Them,
But
yeah.
if you're talking about this,
Or
to
tons that just
isolate,
got
when
made.
you're just adding to the cart and you're not adding anything else to it, no terps, no nothing.
Vaping of any sort.
That's not any vegetable oil. That's
They don't
just,
give a fuck.
Yeah, but they don't know.
They're
that
putting
it's
the
not.
clamp down on it all.
So
Chink.
it's all gonna get tested
All.
right now. Everything's gonna get tested, and what's gonna come out is I'm probably sure, like I've said before, a lot of these the actual cart itself, the glass and the wick and the mechanism inside that makes
That's what they're gonna tax.
they're gonna
That's what they're gonna find out ends up being the problem.
Well, is one of the problems.
Or it could be a
It's already
combination.
been found out that there's lead in them, there's mercury in them. All kind of stupid shit. So
And
who
these
the fuck knows?
and maybe it's fine when it's sitting there in an empty vessel, but when you start adding the terpenes and the oils,
and heating it up
it
is
starts
the key.
breaking.
Yeah,
down.
just like the vitamin E. When you heat that shit up and mixed with other stuff.
Another thing that's dangerous.
Popcorn lung is a real thing, but I'm sure now with the way these kids are just huffing them down nonstop, it's causing. And this is the thing: everybody's fucking different.
And
you know what I mean?
Another thing I think is very important about it is these artificial terpenes. They're completely artificial from God knows what. Is that part of the problem?
No, dependent. Here's the thing, and I've said this I think on the podcast before. Is let's start with the first thing: terpenes.
Do we have testing? No, I'm talking about the artificial terpenes. When they're adding Zuclose 7 plus fucking Yellow Bean 4, when they're adding these fucking chemicals together to create a watermelon flavor.
No, what they're doing is they're taking all of the monoterpenes that are
Yeah.
available.
I understand.
Like if you took the monoterpenes from oranges and then lemons and limes and mixed it.
But what's their source?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's coming from
An orange,
lemons, limes, which a lot of them are, because I know people that have actually bought tons of property in Jamaica and other tropical places just to grow limes, oranges, so they can do the proper, and when I say proper, distillation.
Right near the beach in Jamaica.
Yeah, down by the beach, boy. When they do the proper ones, the proper way, which is steam distillation, or I believe there's definitely another way, but yeah.
But wait, so
I just don't like when they're using certain chemicals to extract those terpenes from the fruits or vegetables or whatever. That's the issue I have is if that sucks. Is if Siggy's barking right now at the guest that just came in the house, and I think the baby's sleeping, but I think he might be good. I don't know. We'll see.
So,
but either way.
But why in Jamaica?
Well, just because you can grow limes and oranges. You know what I mean? It's easy to grow that type of fruit down there. But you know what I mean. It is. It's a weird business, man. Because as soon as there was a certain group of people that I'm not gonna mention, because I don't
name those names. What up, you?
Let him in. Go to his
And finally, our guest is here.
What I miss?
Focus 401.
Rhode Island's poster child.
I got the gold mic, yo.
Oh yeah.
What's up, man?
What's
you
up?
guys
What's
doing,
up?
We just
What
talking
up?
about this whole vaping crisis.
I don't understand.
8 people. Oh shit! It's a crisis.
Yeah,
Well,
I was
it's definitely more than 8 people that have had issues, but it's
Well, yeah.
number one. It's
Talking about,
it's
like,
tobacco
prestige.
companies hopping on it and going, this is our chance to
death by cannabis attack. That's what they're trying to make that.
And then, like you said, a distraction to something that's going on.
Yeah, I feel that's a
The
big
election
thing.
coming up, maybe?
Something.
Yeah, the conspiracy theory time. I mean, they said the whole alien thing too. That the Pentagon did say, yeah, that was an unidentified craft, whatever like that. Like they admitted to it. Like right before the whole supposed UFO, let's rush them type shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
They were fucking bunch of pussy. There was like 2 guards there, and there was like at least over like close to 3,000 motherfuckers there. They could have easily rushed that gate,
Yeah,
but they didn't.
No, I'm glad they didn't.
I would have wanted to rush it. Maybe
I'm glad they
maybe
didn't.
some super.
And you know what's
defense
funny?
shit would've
You
came
know
out.
what's
We would've
super
known-
funny
we wouldn't know about.
is I watched this couple because I follow a couple people. One of them is Riley Reid. I'm
No
not
idea.
going to say an Instagram name just because it might even get us shadow banned from fucking being a podcast, but whatever. She's a pretty big porn star. And so she was there with a couple of her friends, and it was funny because there was only one chick and a shit ton of nerds. And they're all slapping Riley Reid's ass out in front of Area 51's gates. And all the nerds are like, yeah, fucking. Oh my god, it was too funny.
So what do you think about this Massachusetts making vaping illegal?
I'll tell you right now, I just left on the way here. I went to go get a blunt. And the guy behind the counter says to me, as of today, is a ban in Rhode Island for flavored tobacco that's going into effect today.
Holy
What?
I just left the store, and that's what they just told me. I said, and then the other night when we were on tour and we were at the TD Garden in Mass, we were coming home. We went to a store to try to get Dutchess in Mass. No flavors, but today, no flavors. So probably tomorrow there won't be flavors on the shelves, Rhode Island.
Wow.
Straight up. So it's like there's a big movement going on. Like something's funny right now.
All right, so
See, it ain't normal.
today's
This
the-
ain't regular
September
procedure
25th,
of-
Wednesday at 8:26. We just found out, because we were just talking about that. The governor, she was talking about, like, was
There's
having a
already a
conversation
meme.
already.
I just
And
left.
They already put out the word,
Yeah.
like, take them off the shelf.
Today.
I mean,
Today.
yeah.
The
There's
ban
already
started
a
today.
meme of her with a cigarette in her mouth. Says Gina Raimondo loves cigarettes. She's sitting there with a cigarette.
Yeah.
Talk about,
That's
man.
nuts.
That's,
I literally just left and they told me that.
And
So I go there every day.
And I don't-
What's that got to do with anything?
They're trying to make a stand. Somebody's trying to make a.
Something's
nobody
going
knows.
on.
Like there's a reason for it, and I mean we're saying it's.
But they did this in Rhode
money.
Island before. About a couple of years ago, they took flavors off for a little while, and then it came back. You know what I'm saying?
So it just probably
But what's-
cause a little shortage.
What's the targeting of it though?
right.
It's so
What's the
fucking
root?
bizarre.
What is the root of what they're trying to get at? Is
So-
definitely the
so
question.
wait, so
maybe
you
to
can get
maybe to regulate the flavor companies or whoever's.
Is it terpenes like I just said?
I mean,
Do they know
so
something
back
we
to
don't
that
know
point.
about?
Exactly. Why are they
is
taking
possibly-
flavors away?
But regular
But
tobacco.
You can get a regular Dutch or a regular game or whatever, but you, can't get
regular
any
Dutch,
flavors.
But you can't
Wait,
get a
not
strawberry
even
dip.
not even Dutchess.
That's, yeah.
Well, here's the
nothing.
thing.
Nothing?
There's,
Wow.
there's
No
act-
flavors,
There's
zero.
actually
Yo, I'm about to trunk that shit. I'm about to bring a whole
Alright.
bunch of stuff from Connecticut. Like, yo, I got
There's
the
actually,
strawberries, I got the watermelons.
there's actually testing and proof that nicotine in moderation is good for us. Just like caffeine in moderation is good for you. Wine in moderation is
But in
good
which
for you.
delivery form is
Well,
nicotine good for you?
It's on its own.
Organic from
But-
the leaf,
but
not
from-
yeah,
cigarette
from
mixtures,
right.
compounds, other compounds and shit.
Does it inhaled, ingested,
I'm sure not inhaled.
anally? Like which
I'm
way
not
is
sure.
the best tobacco
I'm
use?
not sure. I read it quick that there's test.
Suppositories.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, but here's the thing is.
They're using caffeine for that.
Oh, is it? Yo, you fucked me up with that, man. They're like always in the bed.
Isn't it funny? You know what I find? I just thought this today. Coffee is a vessel for sugar. It's just a vessel for you to put sugar through your body into your mouth. That's it. It's like a spoon. Coffee's like a
Yeah,
spoon.
but what if you don't use sugar with your coffee?
Well, 'cause I've tried to drink coffee with no sugar, and it's tough.
That's all. I cannot add sugar.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I sugar.
I mean, I know people drink it black and stuff. My wife will drink it black. I mean,
but
I've done
you
it
go to
when-
Dunkin', right? Obviously, I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's
You're hearing a lot that more women are just drinking this coffee just black.
a lot of people drinking black.
It's
now.
no calories. It's like, you know
But
what I'm
there's
saying?
there's
From a
good
health
coffee.
standpoint.
Like that black Dunkin' is
Garbage.
hell.
Yeah.
But if you go to a coffee shop and you get some actual beans from Guatemala or Costa
Oh
Rica,
yeah. Oh yeah. It's way different.
it's
It's
like
way
tasting
better.
weed.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can taste
Oh,
the
yeah.
difference.
100%.
In the plants.
100,000,000%. I love coffee and I love
And that's
finding.
how you can drink it without sugar, and that's how you can have healthy coffee. That is not good for you.
It was just funny because I was looking at it this morning and I saw like a little bit of sugar in the bottom, and I was like,
Oh,
I
man.
can't drink this
If you
without
can even
that
see-
sugar in there.
If you can
I'm
even
like,
see sugar in there, that means that couldn't get absorbed by that liquid.
That means that it's just fat sitting at the bottom of your cup, bro.
That's the extra sugar. That's the extra
They say
sugar.
fat equals
and it's
sugar,
not
right?
even extra.
No, but I'm saying that's the shit that couldn't
I
get
know.
absorbed by
I
the
know.
liquid.
But what's good is, I do know that, and I can monitor the other sugars that go into my body on the rest of the day. So
Yeah, but that's an easy one to get out. That's a
I
lot
know,
of sugar.
but it's and in retrospect, it's not because it's fucking addicting.
But yeah, but for
You know what I mean?
For someone like you,
If I don't drink a coffee in the morning, I get a headache by 2:00.
yeah, but you can. I'm
joke.
saying go
'Cause you're
buy
used to
some
the
good
caffeine.
coffee. I'm saying go buy some good coffee and don't put sugar in it.
Yes,
Because
yes.
you're the perfect person to analyze this by. You weigh up hash all the time by the grains. You see what a gram looks like. Think about how many grams of sugar
Yeah.
are in each of your drinks.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Oh, I know.
Yo, East Coaster Dan breaks it down with everything. He
That's
goes
why we
deep.
do
He's
this.
letting it know.
That's why back in the day when I first met him and we were talking one day, I was like, we need a fucking something that's recording right
He
now.
goes deep.
Something
So
needs-
listen, the
something
outside
needs
person
to be-
doesn't know where we're sitting. They don't know what's going on here. They don't know
this
how
thing
dope
on?
this is.
All right, so
Yeah, is my mic even on, bro?
Yeah, no, it's on. Listen,
Damn, Pino.
you ended up, we are very free when it comes to the form of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You can jump in whenever you want. We switch subjects. We'll ask you questions like that, but the whole premise ends up being if you were just sitting and I'm sure you've had the conversation many times with your boys before. Damn, I had an ill conversation. I
Right.
wish somebody pushed record.
There it is.
Welcome to the Joint Committee Session.
Nah, it's dope. I
The
love
#1 podcast in the East Coast.
If you held to a a schedule or a certain topic or whatever, or things don't flow naturally. You know what I mean? If
Right.
we're just chilling like we're all
organic.
would be chilling smoking anyway,
it.
it's
In a
organic.
dope ass spot. Got
Right.
trophies. Got
Right.
pictures. You guys got everything set up nice. Like from the
Fuck
outside
yeah.
person doesn't know where you're at. They got a nice little shit going on over here. This shit has a vibe to it. It has
Thank
like
you.
a positive energy in here.
This
Thank
is
you.
the room. This is where I started growing weed, right here in this room.
Yeah, and
My
you're
first
amazing at
plant.
what you do, by the way.
Thanks.
Well,
You too.
since we're at that point, how about I just say, so Folk is not only a good friend to all of us, he is a freestyler,
Yep.
battle rapper from back in the day.
Oh boy.
He writes his own music. I've seen him behind the keyboard. He does his own shit. He writes all his own lyrics. He does beats for other people, and he's a master at his craft. And he's also a grower. So why don't you
Tons of insight.
indulge into where did folks start? How did it all begin?
Who's Focus?
Man, I'm just a man of, I don't know, like, first of all, I'm honored to be, like, around people like you that are, like, really passionate about what you do.
Fuck yeah.
And I do, and another thing is, how me and Pino met was through music. It was through, me and his brother had a relationship. His brother's a phenomenal producer as well.
Oh shit.
And then I met Pino, and we met, and we did some things, and then, along the way of us meeting each other and, like, getting involved in, like, the club and other things like that, and then meeting East Coaster Dam at events and meeting you through events, and then all of us just networking and talking and just being involved, because this definitely, around the right people, is a beautiful community of people.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure is.
It's fun.
And I
When
love
you get
it.
the right ones in the group, it's nice.
It's so much fun. It's so relaxing.
And this and music go hand in hand.
Oh,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? If you're in the garden, you're listening to music. If I'm making music, like, I'm smoking. So it's like a full circle for me. So the people that are involved with music, and this is the perfect blend of energy for me to be around, because that's what makes me feel the most like myself, to be honest. So that's me, who I am. Someone that's trying to always be just focused on me and the people around me, and just just having positive energy all the time, because life is short, and negativity just has no room in success.
Yep.
And you gotta alleviate that weight because you can't fly carrying all this extra weight around. So you gotta be around the right people, be around the right energy.
Absolutely.
So music and weed to me is like my favorite energy.
Yeah, I don't think like the way I ended up getting into the cannabis industry was initially through you.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but yeah,
I'll
thank you
say
very
it.
much.
No, I'll say it. I ended up reaching out to my brother, you know,
yep.
just kind of music, blah, blah,
Yep,
blah.
yep.
I was looking for, you know, some mixtapes, you know what I mean?
Yeah. some
I know
good
he's got that
mixtapes.
Good mixtapes,
And
you know
he's
what I
got
mean?
them fire mixtapes, yo.
You know, right?
Yo,
Yep,
so-
the fire mixtapes, keeping it around.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, I got skills organization as far as throwing events and concerts and shit.
And I
for the
introduced you to
past.
some people, and again, it took right off.
That's it.
It did, because I believed in you and I liked you as a person, and I felt like I could stand by you if I was to make those connections, and I made those connections, and you didn't disappoint. You took it and you ran with it, and here we are sitting here doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Many years later.
Bond is a straight up dude. Bond is one of the legit. He keeps it so thorough and he keeps it 100, and he's passionate about what he does. He's all about quality control and dealing with, you know what I'm saying, the best of the best. And then to my left over here with these Coach Damn, I gotta tell you, I've seen a lot of people's stuff. I've been around it all, been to all the places, been to all the centers, been everywhere, seen it all, smoked it all, know everybody. And I gotta tell you one thing, that I will take my hat off to this man for his humbleness and how good he is at what he does and the effort that he puts in and the passion that he has in his garden, and for what he shows. To me, it is like a fucking plus. And if any of you guys hadn't had, you know, the honor to like see his stuff up close, or to smell it, or to touch it, or to roll it, or to smoke that, you really, really missing out on some special things, because to me it was like unbelievable.
Damn, my guy, holy shit.
And I was in a situation, listen, I was in a situation where I was going to a big show. I was going to a big show, and I was going to be around big people who are affiliated with big people, like artists that are signed to Wiz and Burner and their people, and big artists. I don't want to say too many names because I don't know if they want to be known for it, but all we smoked that night was his shit. And they've been around the world, and they was like, how do we get this shit? Yeah. And that tells me something. And out of all the people that I called, you know what I'm saying, I called Bond to hit up him because you know, I don't want to go right to him. You know what I'm saying? So whatever. But he did not disappoint me. He did not disappoint me. And I mean, the flavors were fleet.
And I said that.
They looked amazing, tasted amazing, smelled amazing. There was nothing to say except for open the cap and put your flashlight on it.
Yeah.
Done. It's out of here.
Roll that blunt up.
It's out of here. So there's great vibes in this room right now.
And I've told you this before. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm a big old, you know, music guy.
Of course.
And I don't listen to fucking anything else except for you and my other homies out west.
Mendo.
That's it.
The homies.
Mendo
And because of you,
Dope.
we did a song together and a video.
Yep.
And they
Yep.
came
Can't
out
hold
here.
me. Can't hold me down. It's on YouTube. Go check it out. Mendo Dope and Focus. You can find it. It's fat. It's badass. We produced it all ourselves. Folk probably wrote that, and I don't know.
They sent it to me and
A
I
little
got
bit,
it done in
like-
a night.
Yeah.
In a night.
It was
Let me see what
first
this
out.
is. Let me see what this is. Let me look.
But yeah, I don't listen to nobody else except for Focus.
It smells
And I know,
sweet.
you know, like with my brother, you and my brother, like when you guys get together.
I talked to him
it
today.
is just,
Me and him were supposed to get
shout out
together
Louis
today.
Rock,
Yeah, Louis,
like,
we were supposed to get together today. I think we're gonna get together tomorrow.
Like you guys got this chemistry, man. That is just like
He's a
even
fan.
especially when you guys perform too, yo. Like this is like wow. I love that shit.
Your
Love
brother's
fan.
your brother is a special talent. Someone that I stand by. I do stand by him, and I do think that he is a phenomenal talent. He just needs his one big shot, and it's game over.
That's how I feel
Shout out
about
to
it.
Louis.
That's how I feel
Shout
about
out to
you.
Louis, dog.
doubt.
That's how I
Hopefully,
feel
I
about
pick you up tomorrow at the bus stop like we planned. My dude.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. Any day you're gonna be fucking right out of here too.
Not to
man.
mention too, you know what I'm saying? You're running the world and shit like that, doing the platinum artist thing like that. You stay mad humble though. That's
Yeah,
one
that's
thing.
one-
that-
no, that's
yo.
one- that's
well,
one
no,
thing.
hold on. You stay humble until somebody crosses your line, and then
then the
and then it's a
bottle
different
gets
story.
popped.
That
You know what I
sounds
mean?
like
That's
that sounds like the similar story for each man in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went from just like being in the smallest state in the country to platinum artists coming to my house, going in my basement to my home studio, making big records, to having my first song that came out worldwide to be with 3 platinum artists on my first
You
track.
can name them. You can name
Yeah,
drop. You can name that shit.
Say that
It was-
shit,
it was-
dog.
it was-
Tell them where to find it.
It was
Just
me.
let them know. Just put it, you know, like yo, blah blah blah.
It was me,
This is my
Noriega.
resume. It's just facts.
Yeah, it was me, Noriega, Jadakiss, and Wyclef on a song called La La La.
That's big. That's
Me and you know, Pino's brother did the first original joint together in the studio. We smoked all the joints to the cultivator, it was the All Stars, the Cannabis All Stars.
Nice.
So all the testes was up in my fucking studio, and we bond them all out. Louis put the track on, and I just started humming that shit. And Louis was like, "Don't even write it, get on the mic." We did the fucking hook. I wrote the fucking song. Bang, and then, you know, Nori and them guys heard it on Nori's birthday. They were on a boat and they heard it, and Nori was really interested in the track. All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, him and Jada's going back and forth on it. Then my other boy Ali hits me up and says Wyclef wants to sing my chorus. Oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my god, this all happened so fast. I'm like, yo, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's 3 people that I grew up listening to my whole life.
And it's funny because I remember not too long after I met you, I was at the club, and you were there, and you're like, yo, Funk, come check this out. And you brought me upstairs. This is when the place, the shit was over there. And you're like, listen to this. And instantly, as soon as I heard it, I remember looking right at you, and I was like, when you putting this out, dog? Like, when's it going on a track? Or when people going to be able to hear this? And you're like, you know, mad humble about it, just quiet, like, and I was like, and then all of a sudden all that shit started happening, and it happen.
It happened
quick.
fast.
And I was like, dog, fucking congratulations, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was crazy, you know. And the best part about it is that, like, even though me and Nori and those guys were cool, it was still a rough negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's business.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. It for a minute made it almost unenjoyable.
Oh yeah.
But that song ended up being on an album with Tory Lanez, Pharrell, Fat Joe, Fabulous, Nas. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And I mean,
so it was special. It was special, and it's something I'll never forget. You know what I'm saying? And it's embedded.
I'm sure you learned a lot too, going through all that shit.
I did. I learned a lot of. Yeah, I did
about
about.
How they do business.
It's rough. It's rough. Like, that's why I can understand, like, the artists have a hard time, because there's so many other things that come involved aside from being the artist, and it becomes very stressful. So, like, you have to deal with all that and still go to the studio and be productive. It's difficult. That's why people have to. The people that are really making it have a huge team with them. Someone that's dealing with that. Dealing with everything to try to keep it as smooth as they can for the artist, because it can get to be at times a lot.
Yeah, because they just need to concentrate. They don't need to concentrate on, and that's why I give all, like, you and you know, Mendo and a couple other cats that I'm cool with that are independent, because they do everything. You guys do everything yourselves, not only the fucking music, but all the marketing and fucking everything else, dealing with people, whatever the case is. And yeah, you're exactly right.
But I mean, once you get to a certain point, you have to delegate that off, because you're gonna have added stresses that start coming too, where it's gonna become to a point. I mean, one man can only do so much in 24 hours.
Right.
True.
Right. Yeah.
So when you get to a certain level of fame or notoriety, or
you know, my mind goes
You
right
need
to
the
that.
team.
you have to.
And the loyalty and people that are there for your best interest,
That's
because
where I was
everybody
going
has
with
agendas
that.
and shit. It's
And
messed up.
I'm dealing with that shit right now. Looking for that team.
Who can I? That's exactly where I was gonna go. Who do I know that I can fucking trust fully, 100%? Pretty much. Maybe not in my life, because I don't trust nobody but myself, and sometimes I myself in my life. But whatever. Yeah, that's a big thing, because I've been in business with friends. I've been in business with people that I'm not friends with, and it's hard. It's fucking not easy. So my brain automatically goes to, as soon as you can't handle it anymore and you need to get a team, who's going to be part of that team? How fucking loyal are they going to be to me? And now it's digging into my pocket, so which is cool. I'm cool with helping homies eat, and, you know, whatever. If I ever get to that point, I'll probably be one of the most generous dudes there is, because I know if I can't help and this is a thing with a lot of people. If you don't know you can help yourself, you're good. You can't help anybody else.
No.
Because now you're fucking yourself, which is cool in retrospect. You know what I mean? You're actually fucking yourself over to help somebody else. You know what I mean? So, But there comes that point where
Well, this is, I think it ends up being like on.
who can I trust?
No, not just that, but right, we end up doing what we have passion for. We're not just, working 9 to 5. Not knocking a 9 to 5er, but like I'm talking about as far as the individuals in this room.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point that you have to do business or you gotta grow, so you gotta expand, you gotta do partnerships. That growth hurts, and even still, especially when it's with the wrong people, it makes it tough because it takes the fun out of it.
What?
Like I'm doing this for fun, and you guys just sucking all the air out of the goddamn room.
Well, it's like what Focus said. He started to just not have fun in the negotiation part because that's not what his craft is. His craft isn't in negotiations. You know what I'm saying? His craft is in making music, making beats, making all the shit that the people want, not the stuff that's behind the scenes.
Right.
So you need to have a behind the scenes guy that can handle that shit for you at a certain point. You got to handle it yourself for a little while up front, but once you start dealing with fucking big business shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can get screwed, and we've seen it in
will
music
get
in the
screwed.
past.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at
You need to be a professional guy.
No, I've been there. I've been on the other side. I'm
and-
normally I've done the before I even got into the campus, I was doing management and stuff like that, and I was running shows. So I was behind the scene, behind the curtain, where the artist was always on the front, obviously, like that. So all these contracts, all these negotiations, all this shit, all the bullshit that happens that makes it not fun. That's I spent most of my time trying to either put out fires or prevent fires from happening, or motherfuckers just
pouring the gas everywhere.
yo, fuck it, I'm burning it all. They'll flat out, and you gotta just nothing. And nobody, the crowd doesn't see anything.
It's a tough balance.
But it's wild in the back.
It's a tough balance.
And the artists just want to do the artist thing. They don't want to deal with all that shit.
Right.
The album was coming out. The album was coming out the next day, and we were in New York at the studio at Quad Studios, still having arguments about the song, and the album was coming out the next day. Straight up.
No, this is real. I've seen it all the way up to passing through the curtain, dead ass, going at it.
Yeah.
You even see it. Remember that documentary?
And it wasn't
about
like good talking either. It was like arguments.
Remember that argument with Tribe and shit, yo?
Mm-hmm.
How about Q and Fife?
Q-Tip and Fife,
right
yeah.
before they they were that shit is.
It's passion. It's passion.
Passion.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You have two artists, right? And then you have 3 platinum artists, and me, who's to them
You're lucky to be that guy.
bubbling, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's
And that's no disrespect.
and I had been working with Nori for years. You know what I'm saying? We did a song together before all this.
Didn't you have him at your house?
And he came
shooting in the backyard.
Yeah, he's been in my house. We shot guns in the backyard.
He
We
says
did
it in a bunch. In one of
yeah,
his
we did all
songs.
that stuff. I showed him a different way of things around here. You know, him and the pharmacist. We took him and did a bunch of things, and so I didn't think it was gonna be so rough. But but whatever. It is what it is. And you know what? I was honored to do the song with 3 people that I grew up listening to. In the end, it wasn't so much about the money. It was just about the experience and just saying that in my career, I've been to that point. Right. And what's next? You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting on that.
Yeah,
to me, I'm already
absolutely.
way past that, and it's on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate enough to be around some people right now that are on the verge of being that person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've told you. I think personally, from what I hear, people like and shit like that, you have that style where you can keep up with this younger generation of music and put out that type, not the mumbling stuff, because I know you don't do that, but that type of, because you make those kind of beats. I hear it,
Right,
you know.
yeah.
So I know, me personally, what you have for music. I don't know what you have in your bank.
Yeah. How did you start? What got you started
You have enough to do.
Yeah.
What got you? What was it? What am I correct? You said
My
you
dad-
battling. You wanted
well,
to get into that first.
My uncle and my dad were both drummers, and my mom was a singer. So in my house, young was music all the time. So naturally, I started playing the drums, then playing the piano, then playing the saxophone, then started playing all these instruments. And then in high school, this dude one day said to me, "Okay, class is 40 minutes. I'm gonna write a rap. You write a rap. When the class is over, we going in the hallway and we doing this." I was
Out of nowhere?
I never told the story really.
This is
Exclusive.
This is it right here.
The number one podcast in the East Coast.
I
I
want to
mean,
hear it. Out of nowhere, or was it the?
It was me and him, we played sports together. I was the quarterback. I played football.
So you guys always talking shit.
We was always talking that shit,
Yeah.
and then I was in the hallway one day, and I was just saying some Wu-Tang shit, right? And he's like, "Yo, all right, we in class." He's like, "You write a rap, I write a rap." He's like, "Class is over, we meet in the hallway and we do our raps." So I was like, "Oh my God. So instead of like writing a rap, I just went off on him.
Yeah.
About his clothes, the way he looked, the way he played, the way he walked, the way his hair, his sneakers, his everything. And everybody was just like, ooh, it's going crazy. And then next thing you know, everybody wanted to battle me. Yep. And then I just was like, okay, let's do this. And then it came to a point where Hot 106 had this battle, Noise from the Underground. Yeah. And like the best people from like Southern New England was trying to go in.
I remember, I'm old enough, yep. I remember hearing about all that shit and actually hearing about you, and then somebody who I knew that was kind of in that scene back then had said something about you to me, but back in the day before I even met you. Yep. It's so fucking... So when I connected all the dots, I was like, motherfucker, he told me that he was battle rapping over in Providence fucking.
And I was undefeated. Some people don't like to hear it, but I went undefeated. You know what I'm trying to say?
Fucking Floyd in the
I made a lot of friends and I made a lot of enemies, but you know what? The fact of the matter is that I'm still the Noise from the Underground freestyle champion and nobody fucking beat me. So it is what it is. Right. I won't be humble about that one because I earned that bitch.
Yeah, fuck
you know what I'm saying?
But now I think you should stay in it because battle rap now is getting bigger again.
But I like writing songs. I like making the beat, writing the song, and like creating the melody and like capturing feelings and shit like that. Like battle rapping for me is just like bars, boom, 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 boom.
And that's got no.
I love it. And I have friends that do it and they are phenomenal. Yes, listen, these dudes is nasty. Yeah, and these guys is really going in and they have mastered their craft. Me, I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just concentrate on writing songs and doing things, but I can still go back to that, of course. Right. But I like listening and watching what these guys are doing because they're taking it to another thing. Like, we never had, like, such a platform that was as big as what they have now. Oh, yeah. Now these dudes have shows and then they're battling this and it's big and dudes is, like, showing up and it's crazy. Where before it was, like, it wasn't so much like that. Now it's like a sport for real.
Yeah. But isn't it? This just was over in Russia. He did one. And I think in Lebanon, I think where he's from, he did one.
Most of the guys that are doing that at some point will want to write songs or something.
Isn't that where the longevity is putting an actual song out?
Because the song you get publishing and you get royalties. When you go to battle someone, you just win it. You just win it.
Unless it's YouTube and you get promotion and
then how do you convert that? How do you convert that into money? Start doing shows where you're battling and people are charging at the door. And then you give you merchandise.
Then you're selling comedy because you're not selling music.
True, in a sense, it's comedy in music form. Yeah,
but I mean, some guys want.
But it's also respectful.
Music they have. No, I'm not saying. I'm not even trying to diss. I'm not trying to diss.
No, I know you're not.
I'm just trying to say like the different levels of it.
Hip hop's something raw. You can fucking be fucking raw with hip hop, so it's all right. It's not. You can say anything you fucking want. Like like. What do you think?
But it's just like I feel like a rap battle that's just like a morphine drip and that's it. It's over. It doesn't carry on. You can't like
you don't listen to that 100 times.
You can't work out to that and be like, oh,
no. It ends up being more of a like.
It's short term.
It doesn't click. It's just a competition between words. Between like people.
Yeah.
It's like watching a football game.
That's it.
You're not bitching to like, God damn, I can't fucking get this song. La la la.
Oh, so it's more like a fight, like your boxing match or MMA.
Yes.
You're not gonna like, all right, I watched it, but like, you already know
who's got the better way with their words.
Well, the thing about that now, I'm gonna play devil's avocados here. Nice. Is nowadays with social media and YouTube and Instagram, it can go viral, and then
you gotta do it again. Then you gotta do it again.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But guess what? That one viral thing nowadays, I hate to say it, can't beat them, join them. It can get you places. Yeah, look at fucking Bad Wahhabi or whatever the fuck her name is from Dr. Phil. I'll catch you outside, girl.
Yeah, she took an opportunity and she blew it up.
Exactly.
It doesn't happen for everyone, but it happens.
But I mean, all it takes now is for like the same thing with this podcast. We said, hit record.
That's it.
True, but
award winning.
To catch a moment is different than creating a moment.
I totally get it.
You're on
I
a
totally
different
get it.
level.
I totally get it.
Different respect. There's a different approach to how it's even observed.
And now battle rap too. A lot of these guys, and I'm sure a lot of them back in the day didn't. Like Biggie and some of the guys that he battled on the streets. That was off the top. A lot of it.
Yes.
A lot of
Now
battle
it's
rap
written
now
and
is
structured.
is
They do
structured,
research.
They do
They study it.
research.
All that.
They,
It's
they,
different.
they write it down. They got a week or so to do it, and you see them. They'll fuck up. They'll choke and pull out their phone quick to check the fucking lines. And so and I'm not geeking on it at all. I'm just saying. It definitely does take fucking skill to even write it down and remember it. Fucking Christ! Like
I don't wanna be
I
heard.
try and come up with
battle
some
rapping
shit.
back in the day is not the same as it is today because
It's
you
a
said
special
it.
craft, man.
Yeah,
it's
and
their, it's
you
their
gotta
own
be
thing.
ready.
It's their own
and it's
thing.
like, what are you gonna do? Try to go off the top? And my man's been like studying you, looking at your whole like social media history, looking at your family, looking at your sister, and then going and writing like the most fucked up shit.
And I just want to.
And you just like, I'm just gonna freestyle it from.
I respect all of them because you know what? That's where I started from.
Yeah, and I just want to
so
be clear.
I respect it.
I'm only saying this stuff because Folk said he wanted to focus more on writing songs. So I was just trying to create a different boundary between the two.
Yeah.
And see what
like
explain why he would want to go that way.
That's definitely poetry. Tupac, that was a stepping stone. He wrote poetry before he wrote raps.
Oh shit!
So-
my mom just died.
Did she?
Yesterday, the 24th.
Oh damn,
Yeah,
That's
his
crazy.
mom just died.
that's crazy.
My son passed away on Tupac's birthday.
No shit, dude.
Yep.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
Jesus.
Yep. It's crazy. What's even crazier is that the day that my son passed, I was wearing a Biggie t-shirt. And
No
I
shit.
And I still have that t-shirt hanging up in my closet. I'm telling you, like
That's deep, though.
it is, and hip hop is just like been my life.
Yeah.
It's like it really has. It's like the soundtrack to my fucking life.
I mean, what happened, dude?
It's just fucking. My son died from pneumonia. He was 8 days old.
I'm sorry, man.
But it changed me. It made me just very strong. So.
Yeah,
And I have another son and a daughter that mean the world to me. So thank God that they are here, because it could have been a different thing. You know what I mean? But I just want to make everybody proud, so it gives me a lot of motivation to just do great things and not be a regular person, because we're given one life, and I want to take this life and I want to do whatever I have to do to live it to the fullest and make the people around me proud. I'm not gonna sit here and be like all down and let it like ruin my life. I'm gonna use it to uplift my life.
I'll tell you what, bro. You, in my eyes, far superseded what you just explained right there.
We
like,
just gotta keep going.
Yeah, just keep
And
on going.
And the thing though, but you stay humble
yeah,
with it,
yeah.
and you just continue, just like like this is why I like was it Deion Sanders, the Lions, right?
Yep.
No.
Deion Sanders was for the Lions.
Lions, right?
And he only did calisthenics for his whole NFL career.
And so he would do touchdown, no dance, no celebration,
And he
nothing.
plays sports.
Like
Yep.
I've been here before. I'm not gonna continue like this
He
is my
did-
first time. Like
did
I've been
ballet.
here, like you get it. Like I don't have to like showboat and shit like that. I'm gonna do it again. This is not
Like
not
Tom
gonna be my
Brady?
last time. You know what I mean? Like
He did ballet, that dude, like legit. So he
killed
could,
it. It sucks that he never like won a bowl, but
He was an amazing athlete.
yeah.
Bo Jackson.
Back in the day when you had dual athletes.
Number 20, right, Barry Sanders?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had his throwback jersey.
His team
Yep.
was just garbage.
Yeah, but he could make
See,
that
wait.
team look so good.
And it seems too that he almost ended up stopping retiring on purpose before breaking like the running record. That Emmett ended up actually like going over.
He just never complained. He just did his job.
He just did his job. That's it. And
Yeah,
he was
respect
like,
a
"Yo,
man
why
like
did you
that."
stop? You could have just made like blah blah." He was like, "So." Didn't give a shit. Like you stopped short of it. Like we tried like on
There's
purpose.
different
shit,
breeds,
blunt.
man.
We're gonna have to run that fan if we're gonna smoke the blunt.
He's a
I was
different
just gonna
breed.
ask that.
Bond always got his backwoods, dog. Know that.
Is that gonna break the flow?
No,
We can,
maybe.
we can
No.
cut that shit out.
No,
It's loud,
not at all.
man.
No, it doesn't matter. We're just gonna tell people right now. Like you're listening, you're about to start hearing a fan. Don't freak out.
Yeah.
You're not going crazy.
I guess you
I
heard
mean,
it.
maybe you might be if you eat mushrooms.
I just
You know,
lit a
you might
blunt.
be like just
I'll
zoning
put
into
it
it.
out. I mean, well, we'll just all hit it once.
Wait,
No,
what?
it's
So
not.
you could either put it out and we
You
don't
just
get to
put it
smoke
low?
it, or these fuckers got to hear some fans, so they get to hear the fans and we smoke it.
Yep, that's what I say.
I can just turn up the mics.
Nah, we'll
Do
be
what you
good.
gotta.
We'll be good.
But let's plug that.
Yeah, look at it.
It's loud.
Go
man.
ahead. All right, fans. You about to hear a fan. Good old fashioned inline vortex fan. Old school shit.
See what it does. It's like a fucking airplane taking off.
it's not even peaking.
All right, we just got to speak
guys- hey, did
speak
you
into the
guys
mic.
think-
Yeah,
These
we'll be
guys-
good. We'll be good.
Yo, just speak into the mic. All right. Right now, we're talking to you live from the helipad.
The biplanes.
We're about to get on the helicopter.
We're about to lift off. We're about to lift off.
It got real cloudy in here quick. It's a little spot, but it's nice. It's just not nice for blunts.
All right.
We
so,
are lifting off
So, yo,
currently.
as a hip hop artist, and I'm sure you have seen the this about Mr. Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oh,
By the way,
Who?
who? Yeah, I don't.
in
The guy whose name is a sexual position.
I don't.
dog. Listen,
Hey, I'm not even bullshitting you guys because I have a fucking.
You guys want to give him time on your,
I'm in a
on your
bubble.
podcast?
No, we don't.
no, I just think the fucking the
Yo,
memes are
I'm
mad
not even
funny.
joking. I need someone to. I don't know this guy, the story. I'm seeing all these fucking memes. I don't. Who is this goofy looking
Yo,
fucking
listen,
guy, bro?
my man. So,
He's
all
a-
right,
follow up.
He's a
listen,
rat. He's
it's
a
just
rat.
funny. It's just funny, like, cause my opinion, I think the memes. I want to bring up the
Martha
memes.
Stewart one is the
His
best.
bullshit. Yes.
Martha Stewart one is
Oh
the
my
best.
God, yo. So, all right. So, real quick, Tekashi 6ix9ine is one of these more newer age rappers, more mumble rappers. Doesn't give a shit. It's more of like an
Dude,
internet sensation
Didn't we
than
talk about
anything
him
else.
like 2 years ago on like the first podcast? You were
No, it was
telling
like a
me
year
that
ago.
you-
It was not even like that. But anyway, so he
mentioned it.
was like, you know, sensationalizing gang, and he was actually with a gang. So they arrested all of them, like the gang, like that gang,
Oh, I think you said sensationalizing.
sensationalizing a gang, right?
Gang.
Blood
Got it.
gang that he was in.
Quote.
Listen, he was like doing it up like heavy, and they were still doing crime shit, right? The gang part. He was just like, you know, the rapper type shit.
He worked at a deli. This
Right.
guy came into the deli and said, "Are you a rapper?" Because he had the look. This is how it really started. Because I dug deep and I was like, "Where the fuck did this
Unplug that
happen?"
fucking
So
fan. I want to hear the story.
We're good now, right? It's
So-
cleared out.
I mean, I don't
he's
wanna-
a no. He's not a real rapper, but he ends up being like, you know, the colored hair right there ends up being like to attract attention because that's what ends up
He's
actually
a
like
fucking
right. It's
billboard.
just
Yeah, he's
it's
a
it.
marketing
That's all it ends up being,
genius.
and it
That's it.
works. Honestly, he's funny as
Whether
shit. I
he
was
thought
following
of it
him
or
He
not.
became someone's puppet.
yeah, he was funny as shit. But
And
he
they were
became-
fucking
Yo,
they were
people-
maneuvering him around,
So-
and he was making money for them. That's what he made
so
it seem like.
now he's talking about in court, like, yo, you know, I started making money. Everybody started following, but I had all these gangsters around me taking all my money. Like robbing me, like extorting me, like holding me for hostage, like
Nah,
done
he
that
kn-
shit like that.
He,
blah, blah.
listen, he paid to
He-
play because
yeah,
he wanted
yeah,
the image
yeah.
of that
Right.
he was a gangster.
He knew what he was
He
doing.
wanted. That's how it goes. That's
He
the
knew
game
what
you
he
want to
was
decide. Those are people you decide.
was making
to
it
get
seem like
yourself
he was
involved with.
untouchable.
Well, then that's it, and you never untouchable. You always.
He was
you
making
know.
it seem because, but they
Yeah,
made
when
it
he
feel
went
that
on the
way.
Breakfast
Never
Club, it was pretty
untouchable.
Unless
bad.
you're writing all the checks.
We don't have to
No,
say
it
nothing.
doesn't
All you
matter.
have to
He
do
was
is just
writing
go
all
on
the checks.
YouTube
He-
and type up 6ix9ine, and you can hear the whole story. It's crazy.
So
Yeah.
what put the end to all that was the fact that they fucking arrested all of them on racketeering charges, like official racketeering charges, like
course.
murder, drugs,
Kidnapping.
guns, kidnapping, like everything.
Him and his voice.
Him and all his, but you know, ended up tying whatever with the gang with him as well. He probably did some shit too, blah blah. But since he was already with all of them together, kind of like by association with racketeering, they grabbing everybody. They grabbing everybody. That's just how that shit works. That's how they got the mafia.
And this dude
That's how
straight
they-
up went on the stands and told on every single one of them.
Yo,
And pointed them out in court.
everybody.
And pointed them out in
Everybody.
court.
Pointed him out.
Everything.
Pointed him
That's
out.
why-
Even people that had nothing to do with shit
Yep.
he was talking about.
That's
shit.
why
Yeah.
you see him
Throwing
like,
everybody under
Your
the
Honor,
bus.
to the
Right
where
there.
the Where's Waldo.
Well,
fucking-
Waldo,
he's
he
a-
don't.
Your
I know
Honor.
where Carmen San Diego
Is
is. Like,
that-
yo, so
yeah,
he's like snitching
yeah.
on every. So
Martha
became,
Stewart,
Now
that's
he's
why
another
Martha
internet
Stewart was
sensation
the
as a
best.
meme.
And all these
like,
guys are doing 15 to
snitching.
life and 25 to life, and he's gonna get out next year.
You think so?
That's what they're saying. They're saying 2020.
Yes.
This guy.
Dead ass.
Yo, these guys is doing life in prison. This guy ratted out everybody.
Because
He's
of
gonna
the
get
shit
out.
he's involved with, they're doing life.
Well, the shit that they did it, but he
You think he's
snitched
gonna
on.
go into PC?
Right. They got caught because of him.
Well, no, they got caught because
Or you think they'll go back to New York?
He did it to get a better deal.
Yeah, but this is it's not like they, you know, like they had him tied to like all those things. They just happen to have the people around him that were tied to those things.
It's
And
messed
he just
up.
happened to be
I don't think
positioned.
hip hop has ever seen no buffoonery bullshit
Not
stuff
like
like
this.
this ever in history.
Yo,
and it's being glorified and exposed and it's everywhere.
It's the guy with the Skittle face,
It's
right?
Yes!
because it's drama.
So it's buffoonery before even fucking this shit happened.
The whole thing was a marketing gimmick or something
whole
because this
thing.
dude ratted on the
just
whole
But
like
it
crowd.
turned badly for him, and he's gonna probably.
This dude had a
end up
couple
dead.
of years of fame and he ratted on everybody and now
Yo.
it's over.
He's done. He's
I've
dead
never
when he gets
seen-
out.
I have never seen
sure.
this type
I'm
of.
just saying what I heard and seen.
I've never seen this type of
Crazy.
rise and fall from an artist ever before. I've seen rise and art, but like too much money,
Dude, his whole
drug problems,
testimony-
blah blah. But nothing like this. Never in hip hop history has been something like
Bro,
this
I seriously
amount
don't
of
even know
crazy
this.
shit.
I don't know how big this guy. I never fucking heard of him until you said his name, and I'm like,
He was a mascot
Sounds
for a
retarded.
gang,
Yeah.
and the gang got pinched.
All the audio
I
is
never
out there.
listened to the music
He
ever. I
snitched on
heard a few
everybody.
things, but
It's all out.
it's-
The audio is all out there. The audio's been on the Breakfast Club. It's been on all the radios.
Even the gang said that he's not a. They even said that he's not a real gang member, but he was just like there. You feel
50
me?
50 goes, I don't know him. Who you talking about?
Yeah, don't
Don't call me.
Call me.
Don't call me. Don't call me.
That
was funny shit.
He wanted all the fame and the fortune, and he paid the price for the way that it happened for him.
But when he gets out, he's got those residuals.
He's dead.
But
He's
guess
dead
what?
when he
But
gets
guess
out.
what?
He's dead.
There's zero respect. Come on.
I know, right? But
This
if
younger
he has,
generation's
right,
a little
listen,
weak, though.
The thing
if
is
he had- if-
I don't even like to associate that dude with music and like hip hop and that I'm accustomed to, because all this new SoundCloud shit, like I give some of them credit, some of them are alright, but I just can't like that shit is not music, dog. If I don't know what you're saying, or if you don't have a fucking some type of one sentence, just give me one sentence that makes sense and pertains to life itself, please. Then I'll call it music. But until then, so he's. I hope hip hop doesn't have that little asterisk in it from him for the rest of hip hop.
All I can say is that the way
culture.
that he talked on the stand, and if you listen to it, it's so articulated and so like it looks like it looks like it was rehearsed and wrote down, and he is like reciting it back.
This is
His
what we
words,
want.
the way he's pronouncing, enunciating everything. It's not like him being like, "Yo, this motherfucker did this." This motherfucker's like, this guy's like, this guy right here with the hat on did this, and this, and that guy did this, and this guy did this, and he's throwing names out there and instant. It's fucking like awful.
Yeah,
It's like anybody's worst fucking nightmare to
Yeah,
deal with. Somebody.
That's why I
So
don't.
listen to this,
I
right?
don't-
He's got residuals coming when he gets out, right? And all he
Royalties,
really
publishing.
and as far as like to get his point across, all he needs to do is go on any social media and just start talking. Not everybody is going to be like, "Oh, fuck him, he's a snitch."
He's gonna be in protective custody. He's gonna get all of his tattoos removed. He's gonna cut his hair and he's gonna go back to the deli. He's gonna collect his residuals and pretend they
You
don't
don't think-
exist.
why-
How can he walk around and feel good about himself?
I know.
How can you walk around after doing all that and the whole world knows about it and you're gonna walk around with your head high? Yo, then it's not happening, bro.
No, it's not.
It's not happening.
It's not.
I'm sorry, but that's not
Listen,
reality.
I know leaders now that have done some horrible shit. That's fucking walking around like it's all cool.
But was it glorified? And did every fucking like podcast
What
or
does it
radio
matter?
channel talk about how you snitched on your whole
Wait,
crew?
But what
Did
does
you
it
say,
matter?
did you
if
say
it's glorified?
leaders?
Multiple people are going to
Like,
jail for a long time.
Global
because of this guy.
leaders?
Yeah.
That's you're talking old school, deep rooted money shit, not some fucking random rapper who hit it big viral.
What's the difference if we're talking
What's
morality?
the difference is you ain't.
What's the difference when we're talking morality? Does it matter if you end up having
Yes.
a leader job or somebody like that? Shouldn't it be all hold to the same amount of morals?
Hey, you're
like
right.
what the fuck?
You can answer the question yourself. Look at the global leaders. How's the morality? It ain't not a goddamn thing any of us can do about it.
I think it should matter.
We can control who's in the game of entertainments, and because we control the sales and all that shit.
Oh,
Kinda,
that's before-
kinda,
That's just
yeah,
like know
kinda.
who's the biggest like
Exactly,
who's the
but
biggest
I'm just
local
saying
jester.
you can't compare global leaders to any viral artist of any sort.
No,
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
You can
look,
say it,
it's-
but there's no comparison.
You-
The global
like, they're-
leaders
they're-
they have to shit on people to get to where they are. So there's not even
Right,
a
but
conversation.
once you're a global leader, you have a shelf life, and that's it. So like that, and the ones that end up staying are the people in the background, the
So
staff,
George
the managers,
Washington has
like
a shelf
that.
life?
So everybody, all of them had a shelf life. They only end up being now at max, even with ours. Like at max, it says 10.
You think they got
but
picked out of a crowd
8
from nowhere and put as the leader? No, that shit is a.
So George
What
Washington.
I'm trying to say is, right
in the making
now,
thing.
he ended up being 8 years there, whatever like that, and now somebody else comes in. But people that end up working within the background, those don't change.
Yeah.
That so on that point, global leaders and politicians ends up being nothing more than baseball players.
I'm not talking about the figureheads. I'm not talking about presidents. I'm talking about global leaders, the families. Those are the people that own and run.
That's a totally different. No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Like the Bilderbergs?
Rothschilds.
Rothschild.
Yeah, no, that's not what I was talking about.
Rothschild is the only name you need to say because that's they are the money. That family, whatever money you have.
So maybe they don't. Well, that's always just a conspiracy.
That's what I'm comparing.
It's not.
I'm comparing a viral artist to those people. You can't even. It's not even. There's no influence that anyone can do to change the Rothschilds.
No.
Yeah, there is.
No, there's not.
No, there's not.
No, there is.
We don't have enough time.
See, all right. So this is how I can prove it, right?
You're the first man in a long time.
Rome, right? Listen, Rome.
Yep.
The Colosseum. What was the Colosseum?
Yeah.
The Colosseum was a distraction. The Colosseum was a distraction to limit the people's rights, to take it more away from the senators and be more concentrate on the Caesar.
Kind of like the vape attack.
So you talking about that one person, that other people that aren't global leaders can end up not influencing the world, and I'm telling you that you can, and you just proved my point. So social media and the media have now made this fucking vape shit ridiculous. Like, this is like out of control. Yes, there should be some kind of warning, but what they've been doing like that, like, you're right. There's something else going on. Why the fuck?
There's always a huge
concentrating so deep on this.
A normal crowd of real issues. A normal crowd of people didn't turn this into a national crisis. Guys like me and you on social media didn't do it. That shit is generated.
What I'm saying, so look, I can tell you that even with Puerto Rico, right? The one that ended up actually, it ended up being a natural organic shoe like that, but what really pushed it over the top ended up being the celebrities that ended up actually also joining the protest and saying, and all their followers, they're not global leaders, but they have big followings. So they have influence, and it's true. Like, they make a joke about being an internet influencer or something like that. But if you end up being an influencer, you have a decent amount of like following and influence over a certain amount of people.
Huge.
So
huge
for a heartbeat, bro. For a heartbeat,
right? But it doesn't matter because within one heartbeat, that one thing can change from 1 second to the next. And that might be just enough to sway. Even 5,000 people is a decent amount. 10,000, 40,000, 100,000. You talk about now you got millions. Talking about sharing your stuff, and now they're sharing with all those stuff. That ends up kind of like multiple like that. And that stuff that politicians still don't fully understand and still don't have. The new generation's actually understanding that, but not the current one as far as when it comes to leaders. So currently, right now, you could end up influencing a politician lower level. I'm talking about statins like that through social media and just like bombing them on stuff.
Yeah, imagine
like
Rothschild using Instagram.
Like we talking about like what happened with the farmers talking about how the dispensaries weren't paying for the fucking the tobacco, the pre-rolls and shit.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden they were like, oh shit, they really, and it starts and. He ends up being more of somebody that ends up being more of an influencer within our community as far as cannabis, like as far as sharing some information about shit being unfair. But
the pharmacists?
Yeah. Do I say that that's what ended up like now them actually investigating? Because they're not paying their fair share. They're a business. I don't care if they're a fucking nonprofit dealing with the medical shit because they've been hiding behind that medical shit for a very long time, earning some big top dollars. And it's only fair that they pay their fair share. Like everybody else. So, it is what it is on that.
Yeah, but Gina Raimondo ain't Rothschild.
I hear you, but she still ends up...
We're talking different shit, but yes,
no,
I agree with you.
In comparison, as far as,
But that's local, temporary change shit. We're talking about some weed laws. I'm talking about in the global scheme of things.
Right, so there's global...
There's a certain level of morality that these leading families have that will not change. They will never look at us as a certain level of people. But we'll see what they
own, right? They end up owning the media companies.
Be that difference of class and morals.
They own the media companies, CNN, NBC, blah, 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 but they don't own the social media Only Mark
They're
Zuckerberg.
they're
But
starting
they just turn the
to.
shit
Mark
off.
Zuckerberg
You
is
don't
the
give a
only
fuck.
owner for. He owns Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, but they're
He
starting.
doesn't own Twitter, but that's a shared. That's a publicly traded company. Well, they both are. whatever
They're
it's at.
starting to seep their fingers into those owners like Susan from YouTube and Mark from fucking Facebook and Instagram. They're starting to grab onto them, and obviously, well,
Why would I care
you-
if I was him? Why would I care about promoting on a television when it's already
because
been
it's
proven,
agendas, and they've
it doesn't
noticed
matter about
that
it because it's been
these
proven
people
that
have
you can end up
millions of
making more
people.
connection
They have the
through
influence.
social
Yeah,
media.
they have the
than-
influence. Some
yeah,
of
they
these,
have so-
some of
on
these
social-
people,
on
some of
media.
these people, bro, at one point in time during the day, out of nowhere, have 100,000 people watching them. 100,000 people live watching them. Like what? There's 100,000 fucking people right now
Glued to
watching
their phones.
on their glued to their phone
Yeah.
or their computer watching
Watch the
this
same
person.
shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm gonna
Through
bring.
who's- through
I'm gonna
social
bring this.
media.
I'm gonna bring this in because it's kind of cool. I think it's cool anyway. Boxing. That Eddie Hearn, he saw it. He watched. Remember I was telling you about that Logan KSI boxing match a while back. They, the YouTubers were boxing. Well, Eddie Hearn, the guy who is the promoter for Anthony Joshua, who was the heavyweight champion of the world.
How do you pull these fucking names out of your head of these people I never heard of, bro?
I just
He's
follow.
a fact machine. This guy's got facts.
Cheers, mate.
I follow.
Yeah,
I
you feel
follow
stupid.
boxing. I love boxing. It's been getting bigger and bigger now because all the heavyweights are getting crazy. There's belts everywhere, and
We gotta go to a match, man. I didn't know you like boxing.
dude,
Like that.
I love
boxing. That's
love.
my shit.
I like heavyweight boxing. I can't stand when I couldn't stand watching Floyd and shit. Like
No,
Floyd was
I'm-
great and stuff, but I can't. I like heavyweight. And
I like
UFC.
I like heavy welters and middles because they end up having still the
Well, get
decent
this.
power. Not the none of the flies
So-
or the feathers like that because it's just too. It's
You wanna
it's
like
really
that
quick
thing?
and quick, but like that. But it's not like
Do you want to like that thing instead of this?
What thing?
That, and then we'll like this because I need. I don't want to turn the fan on.
But
So anyway, real quick.
so now you know who Tekashi is too.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to know. We really shouldn't even have talked about that.
Right,
Sorry,
but,
guys. But either way,
I love how these high conversations go 50 million directions. Then we come back to the.
Are you sitting
Yeah.
there all confused?
Nah,
we went from this. I'm gonna check this real quick because this is great. I love it. We was talking about music and weed. Then we was talking about Tekashi. Then we talked about politics and world leaders. And we talked about boxing. Then we came back and said that 269 was. That's it. It's right.
Next topic.
no. So these influencers,
Killed it.
that have 10 million plus subscribers on YouTube have worked, in my eyes, worked their ass off, did an amateur fight, got Eddie Hearn, who's the biggest promoter in boxing ever, pretty much, to
That's arguable. That's debatable. But go ahead.
no, he definitely
Nah, get out,
he's
you guys.
definitely up there, bro.
Maybe like a legend, but not like current.
All right. Anyway,
Either way, he saw it and was like, no. I like these kids. What are they doing? Haha! And then all of a sudden, he looked at the numbers when it was over, and these kids pulled better, 2, 3, 4 times better numbers than Super Bowls, NASCAR, anything, fucking movies. And these are facts. Anything like blow people and stats out of the water. And he was like, yeah, we're going to make them fight with 10-ounce gloves, no headgear, and they're going to get sanctioned by the California Commission of Boxing.
Yep.
And
Make it legal.
yep, it's legal, and then they made it happen. They're fighting in November. It's going to be awesome. And there's 2 championship fights on the undercard.
Wait, and this is gonna be live on like social on Facebook?
Both of these people got millions of followers. They
Yes,
they
so-
hyped this up
Yes.
way before to get to this
Yes,
level.
Eddie
They-
Hearn is now going, if I can get, like you said, 10,000 people out of these millions to come to the boxing side,
Yeah.
it's worth it. It's worth it because it's just going to trickle from more. So and I said it when Logan and them did it back when they did it the first time. I said,
fucking somebody from the boxing world needs to hop on this right now because number one,
Or somebody.
Rogan was talking about it.
So why don't we figure some shit out right here and stop talking about other people's?
Well, no,
fucking
this is what we're trying to say. Like,
Let's
you
take
know,
people that are in this interview that don't like each other in this box. We'll call it weed boxing. That's it.
weed boxing.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're gonna fight with hemp gloves. Listen, these
That's getting big too. Fucking
Yo,
bare knuckle
like,
boxing.
I can think about a
Hey.
few names that already like could be on multiple people's lists.
There's competition everywhere. People are always gonna want to say that they're the best.
Well, this is the power of social media.
human progression, right?
And,
Yes.
and this is the,
So they ended up. So to kind of add to your point, right? As far as like the social media being more easier to get attention, more lucrative as far as like branding and marketing than normal traditional TV, radio, and print.
Yeah, you got these guys using the Nielsen rating to figure out what their Super Bowls are
right,
being
which
viewed
they're
at.
limited now because Netflix is fucked them up. Like,
It's
Yeah.
just crazy that
That's
you have online where you see the exact.
I almost
number of
bought
fucking
stock
ads
in
we're
Netflix
watching.
back in
you
the
can
day
see
when it first-
1947.
Yo, so
It's not 13 families. So now you do the math and you gotta
right,
do some fucking population
So
density
they ended up
equations
doing-
just to get a number.
they
To
ended up
pay
doing.
people. It's all set up, that whole Nielsen rating.
Don't they
That's
go?
why
Don't they
fucking
go
hate
off?
the internet.
Don't they
I
go
think they
off?
ended up being like 3 Super Bowls ago. They
why
a
the-
marketing
What's the
company.
census?
A branding
Don't they go
company.
off the census?
No,
No,
the
it's
way-
a Nielsen rating.
No, the Nielsen rating ends up looking at like how long you ended up looking at
No.
something for how long,
No.
and as far as keeping track. Yes,
But
Yeah.
first you have to explain. There's a whole 100,000 people in the country that have a Nielsen box.
Mm-hmm.
right. Same thing with the radios as far as the cars. They actually have now. Before it used to be a book. Now it's actually a little thing that fits on like a little pager, and it just picks up
Right.
what station you're actually listening.
But
to.
they're not seeing when they say, "Oh, we got a 6.3 rating." That means 630 million people were watching or whatever.
It's a roundabout.
They're just using an equation off of that many people that of the Nielsen families of the 100,000 people that were watching TV. Oh,
So
47
now,
families were
so
watching.
now
So
with
then they do the
social
math
media-
by 365 million people.
yeah.
So it's just all bullshit.
It is bullshit. It really is. I worked in radio. Like we had to do
So-
that math. Like it's mostly bullshit. Just
So-
to like.
so
like
now-
I
round
always
it.
wondered that.
So now if you
Yeah,
run
yeah.
run TV, if you're on that level of running TV, now you really dictate because you know the real numbers of
Yeah.
it's all bullshit. You can dictate who gets paid in the industry and who doesn't. So it starts to trickle down from there.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit.
That's how it's happening
That's
on
why-
YouTube.
and that's why the
that's how
internet-
YouTube's going now.
The internet is killing
Right.
the middleman.
Right.
That's why all these people are getting this success without having to pay agents and fucking
Right. So-
agencies.
So
Yeah.
they ended up doing in like 3 Super Bowls ago, rather than paying like $3 million to do like that 45-second during like the Super Bowl, they ended up saying that we're gonna to make the commercial, but we're gonna end up spending $3 million as far as promoting it just
Yeah.
on
Folk.
Facebook.
How about that fucking?
They fucking crushed it as far as like the amount of attention, way
Bro.
more than
No.
the Super Bowl commercial could actually even try to.
Listen to this.
promise.
No, listen, go, folk. That fucking video I showed you the other day where homeboy gave him that car.
Oh, the Lambo.
Need for Speed gave this kid for what is it, promotional purposes, gave him a brand new Lamborghini Huracan. It's a what? $500,000 car?
Does the kid have to pay the taxes on it?
Well, I don't know exactly how that works, but he
You
used
that
it
car
to,
back next month.
he used it to his, he used it to his benefit. Made a video. He doesn't need the car. And he knows he's got a buddy that's his favorite car. It's the Lamborghini. He loves Lamborghinis. So he fucking made a video of giving him the car.
He passed it on.
Bro,
Yo.
and honestly, it was a good video. It was a great video, actually.
Yeah.
You take the taxes, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever. I'm down. Fuck, I'll fucking
So
do what
how-
I gotta
So
do.
how many hits did he get from that?
Well, he's an influencer that has 10 plus,
Millions. There's millions. of
10
views on
million
that.
plus.
Yeah.
So
I wanna-
It's probably I don't know.
It's about $3,000 per million views, I think. Around 20, between 25 and 3. That fluctuates often. So
Yeah,
think
depending-
about someone that's doing these videos all the time. There's a company called DDE that puts out videos every day, and they have a few million subscribers. These guys are making enough money dropping these videos to afford big things.
Right.
They're doing something right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're driving traffic. That's what it's about today.
People's attention spans are so short that you have to the content. It's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's why you see more and more people and a lot more movies and stuff. Everything's getting real choppy. Everything's choppy, like music videos. It's like this to keep you there. Because if you're looking at the same thing for fucking, and I'm sure they figured this out, a certain amount of seconds, there are people fucking flip over it or whatever. So everything that's edited now is like do. It's always a cut of some sort.
It's 1
so
to 3
it keeps
seconds.
you there. It's
Right.
like the Zaberta
Chops,
film.
Like you gotta captivate quickly, or if it, trust me, like all me and my team do all day is think about how to create new content. Because within the cannabis industry, we can't promote on TV, radio, or print.
Right.
There's some little things like maybe doing a billboard possibly, but it's still not the same. You can't like do like sale type shit.
About high times.
And that's a personal that's a private magazine, right? That ends up being it's still very
with
limited.
a huge platform.
Right. They
you
have
get a point across. That'd be a good place to start.
It's not the good place.
Well, I was thinking about
the
it.
only
That's
place
the
to
thing.
start.
Yeah.
So that's not
Well,
to shit
or
on
you
like high
could go,
times, but
and I've thought of this before.
It's a lack of
you
like
could
that.
go to Plymouth County Kick. What's it called? Plymouth. What's the fucking medical place? All the medical places that are open in Massachusetts.
No.
Rhode Island.
I'm not. That's
You
still
Patriot.
limited. That's still limited. What I'm talking about is right, and the only way to actually try to promote, like you would consider trying to promote through a radio, ends up being through social media. But the problem that we have is that social media won't approve the paid for advertisement like everybody else. Like you want to sell sandals, you can pay for that shit, and it's only a few dollars to reach out for like to a few thousand people. Before I used to print out 300 fucking flyers, go put it on top of people's cars, and like just hope maybe like 30 motherfuckers come out of that 300 flyers putting out there. Like it's totally different game. So the only way as far as to promote with the cannabis thing is to actually create content to people click on. And you have 1 to 3 seconds to do so. It is until the rules change that we can promote to pay promote it like that. It's gonna that's just how it is. And that's all me and my team do is sit around all day and fucking think about what content to like actually like build between different types of platforms.
Dude, I got my first
I want to ask her.
tag, like fucking like band thing or whatever. So I put up that picture of it was on my story. It was the some strain that I was washing next, and I had a picture of all the frozen bud in the washing machine, and I said fucking whatever strain it was, next on deck. And that night, I went on Instagram and I had a fucking thing. They took it down because they thought I was selling weed because I said it was next on deck. And then the next morning, I get a thing in the whatever it's called there in the inbox, and it said I can no longer use that fucking their promotional fucking thing that they have now, or whatever. I'm not eligible for it.
So let's talk about that topic. You want to
instantly? I was like, damn dog, I only put one fucking, and all I said was next on deck, like. No, it's not up for sale. Like, I'm going to be washing it. Like, that, I don't know. It's just.
So let's talk about that, like the black market, right? Which is
algorithm
super heavy on fucking Instagram.
Well, when I wanted to talk about black market, I was going to talk about how I've seen articles when they're comparing numbers, black market sales versus,
but we know those are bullshit. We know those are bullshit, but like, 4 pounds, it's $1 million on the street. I'm like,
not even that.
What the fuck? Where did they get that number from? Like, you've seen some ridiculous number for a super low amount.
You could even
that is insane.
go beyond that and not even get that far in the article. You can just realize, where have you ever seen a black market transaction get recorded and like jotted down? Okay, we're gonna hand this in to whoever's fucking jotting down the information for this article. How the fuck do they have any information about any black market? Yeah. It's a black fucking market. Yeah. There is no information.
I've said that.
So
many times.
all of these hypes and scares you see, who's coming out and why are those numbers what they are? Why are they trying to make this agenda look the way it is when they're talking about rec and medical and blah blah blah. Like, who's behind that?
So I can answer that.
I mean, we know who's behind it, but I'm just saying,
I can.
who's even taking these articles with the black market numbers seriously?
I can. That's easy. So
The media.
they end up having all these numbers already in records and all that stuff. Whatever what X, Y, and Z ends up being.
What is X, Y, and Z?
As far as X, Y, and Z, like different type of drugs or different type of things that end up being sold for black market, meaning like not taxed, or we also call paraphernalia. You can call a lot of things paraphernalia. You can call rainwater paraphernalia.
I get it.
So, fuck.
What the fuck was that?
I fucking. I just had a brain fart.
Christ, he scared me.
Fuck. What was I saying?
It's funny.
Listen, I think sometimes I think sometimes those numbers. Sometimes they'll have somebody they'll be interrogating somebody, they'll be asking what's this going for in the streets. They give them this number, and then they're all talking about it. So they have this number, and it's like then they take that and multiply that by whatever they get, and they just make the number sound ridiculous.
No, I understand, but it's like
It sucks.
That's what the cops
there
are
is
telling
no
them.
black
But
market.
there is- yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the cops are just making up
transaction
numbers,
list.
and
There's total bullshit.
that's what
It
they're
is
telling the
bullshit.
reporters. That's
But I'm just saying, like, when these articles are written, they're almost written in plea for the medical and rec dispensaries, or the fucking like the shareholders articles. You ever read those on fucking Wall Street Journal?
No,
Well, yeah, 'cause it'll
I
look
just
good.
I just heard a wild
The numbers look
statistic.
good.
But you
I
just
heard a
read
wild
it and you
statistic,
go,
like-
"Holy shit! Everyone is full of shit."
Yeah.
Everything is full of shit about this industry.
Yep.
Everything from the way it's reported on, which we already knew about, but the actual the numbers, which aren't supposed to be bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Right. That's why, like, when you send me those numbers, that they're getting this much, and the shit that you send me,
Dude,
I get it to some extent, but then at the same time in my head, I'm going, no fucking way.
let me tell you something, people.
Yo, so
All right?
listen.
If
So
you
listen.
got- if you have dreams,
This just to kind of point this, like, as far as like to really like put like just as far as sensationalism, right? Like, everybody thinks that you kill somebody and you're gonna end up getting caught by the cops, more than likely, right? 40% of fucking murders go unsolved by police. 40%.
Yeah.
There's a good chance you can get away with murder.
I bet back in the day
Alright.
it was like 80%.
I'm just.
where you going tonight, Lou?
All I'm saying is that the sensationalism, as far as like CSI and this and that the cops always
Yeah.
get the bad guy, like you're always gonna get caught, and all this, and not just that, but just about everything ends up being inflated, and the numbers for weed, like these motherfuckers got caught with mad shit, and it's not.
Dude.
It's like that's ridiculous. What the fuck? Where did they get that number from?
Television is a weapon.
Yes.
Do you know what the first patent was for television when they first created television? Do you know what the patent was for it? Mind control.
Mind
Oh
control.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's still used to that day for that very reason.
Isn't that crazy?
And you know what's fucked up? Remember
No,
the
it's totally
remember,
fucking logical.
Remember the Batman movie Jim Carrey was in as the Joker?
Oh yeah. He played a good
Yeah,
Joker.
Do you remember the fucking? He
played
had
a
a
good
fucking
Joker.
thing that went on the TV,
Yeah,
and they
sucks
sold
dry,
it,
yeah.
and they sold it to everybody in Gotham City, and it literally.
Who
that
was the
that-
Batman for that one?
It made I don't remember. It wasn't probably one of the best Batmans.
Val
but
Kilmer?
still maybe.
Isn't that the one where they made all the characters like fucking sissies?
Sort of, but I like
Nah,
Jim
can't
Jim
remember.
Carrey doing the Riddler. I didn't like what's
He
his name
definitely
doing
did
Two
play a
Face.
good part, but it was
And
funny
Val
how
Kilmer
they
played a
had the
bad
TV
Batman.
had a beam that went to everybody's head, and they just fucking sat there
Yeah.
and they were hypnotized, so like he could fucking.
That one had a Robin
Like-
too, didn't it?
Yeah,
That was a bad
I
Robin.
think the
too.
Penguin too. That was with
The Penguin was that was Michael Keaton.
no Pesci, no not Pesci.
Yeah,
Danny DeVito.
Danny
Danny
DeVito.
DeVito. Yeah, and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michael Keaton was Batman.
Michael
Yeah.
Keaton was Batman. That was so he was like the first and second, like with the Joker, and then with the Penguin and Catwoman.
I can't follow all that superhero shit, man.
This is
not my
old
thing.
school, bro. Like
Still,
this is like you
nope.
never saw these back in the day.
I saw them, but I just chose not to remember them.
It just ends up being watching the ones today and then comparing them to the
I
ones
can't
that
watch that
passed.
shit today.
Like it's
I got
crazy,
maybe
yo.
30 seconds before I go.
I was
"What
pretty
the fuck
slow,
is this
dude.
shit?"
Some of no, honestly, like they're getting good because
I don't need fucking blue laser beams coming out of some guy's palm.
No, so
to keep me interested.
what's really dope, right,
Done.
is that besides adding all that stuff,
That's
like
coming
major,
true, bro.
yo,
Yeah.
major actors are actually
ain't
like
joking.
taking these like in these like roles
Well,
and like
as far as the
watching
Iron Man.
Logan as far as the Wolverine's last movie, and they made it more noir. They made it more like you might laugh, but as far as
No.
cinema,
Dude, I'm not. I'm laughing because you said someone's name. I don't know who that is.
no noir is
Logan?
like a type of
Logan?
No, Logan like Wolverine's name is Logan. Oh,
Dude,
okay,
I'm
sorry.
saying I'm beyond. I don't know.
All right.
So you don't have to.
All right, so Wolverine's real name is Logan.
Okay.
Right. So they named the movie Logan, and they ended up doing it from a little bit more of a realistic
That's cute.
perspective, like ours, like perspective, not like laser and blah blah blah. I mean, still had that kind of that, but it was more gritty in a sense, more grounded to like, as far as like human, understanding. All right, that kind of makes sense a little bit more.
That's
obviously
nice.
not the
They did that
claws.
finally.
Yeah, so a lot. So listen, a lot more have been doing the same thing too, and it's actually been like actors like really going in depth into these characters.
Yeah, but I get it. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? But
I know. I'm
just
the
saying,
fuck
I
out of
don't-
it.
I don't-
It's not wonky. It's not like. It's not like.
I just
it's
still
not
think
like
it's
you
super-
feel like, oh shit.
I still
that's
think
crazy.
superheroes are wonky.
The new Joker coming out with Phoenix is supposed to be more like. It's not. With Joaquin Phoenix,
You
that
gotta.
one.
I know, but you gotta. I can't have that separation. Like you have to believe a lot to let your mind go. To
So
believe
with this, so
there's
yeah, so watching
regardless
this new
of the
Joker,
gritty reality of it,
it comes
there's
out
still a guy
October
that's
4th.
got claws that come out of it. What is
No, so
Wolverine
all
got?
right, so this one's something you can
Does he
be
bite people hard?
It's not. It's,
I really don't know.
All right, so
It's the guy with the claws, right?
yeah, the guy with the claws. Those are adamantium
So you gotta
claws.
go. You gotta already be
and-
out of the
Right.
reality.
Okay, so the one that's coming out, as far as a new example is
It's just
coming
a
out, is
movie.
the Joker. Right. The Joker is by it's got starting Joaquin Phoenix, and it ends up taking a point of view like if
Didn't he have a cleft lip?
yeah, if there was gonna be like a bad guy that took the role of the Joker, what kind of would he be if he was in real life, right? Not superpowers and all this like wild crazy shit. If he was a real person, a real bad guy, how would he ended up developing to be that bad guy?
Is he in Minnesota or is he in Gotham City?
It has to be a city.
So I'm out.
Right.
Yeah, it's Gotham.
It's just
City.
it says it is Gotham City, right? For like that, but just think about it as just a city.
Right.
And you just think about one individual and how his life ended up going along and how he ended up making all these choices, ended up being a specific thing to becoming, I don't know, a crazy fucking maniac.
I have a question. How
They
high,
have them all the time, right?
how
Of
high,
course.
how high are you right now?
I'm pretty fucking
Bond,
high,
every time
but
I look
it's
at you and you
still-
talk, I think you're gonna play the harmonica the way his microphone's set up. I keep thinking you're gonna play the harmonica. It's just like he's got the fucking mic sideways. It's like
Well, he always yells. He always yells at me, and he fucking pushes the mic closer to me, so I try and stay.
Yeah,
close.
you always say, yeah. I got you though.
Even though I have a
got you
seriously deep voice, and I think it
It's
sounds
true.
weird.
I'm always
but-
like, I'm fucking adjust your shit.
he's the Barry White of the podcast.
Yo, we all
Smooth.
carry in some weird like that, but his ends up being like the deeper one. Like his fucking pitch is just like,
Probably from his mic angle.
yeah. Well, no, because it doesn't.
Just kidding.
Listen, I try to do
I
it
got
the other way, but
360,
he's
dog.
like this. He'd be
I got
like,
360.
yo, I put it like this, like that. He's talking through the side of it. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna turn it sideways.
Let's hit the guy that holds his gun sideways. Bond holds
That's
his mic
kill shot, dog.
sideways.
That's
Yeah.
kill shot.
It looks good doing it. and shit.
You got anything you got coming up that's you want to talk about or things you can?
I just want to talk about that lava cake for a second.
All right, do it.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, man. Yo, yeah, that's right. Because we asked you. About,
Listen, all right, check it out.
we asked you about like
The
a lot
names
of
are stuck
music.
in my head. You ready? There's a couple names that are stuck in my head. The wine breath and the lava cake. And also some GG something.
GGP.
Well, all of them had like their own distinct things, but I think the wine breath and the lava cake for some reason just had me really right. I think the GG one had my heart going a little bananas. To be honest with you, I was like, oh god, I was like, I feel like I had a pre-workout or some shit.
Yeah, that's those two right there. The wine breath is the more full one.
Yeah. It's
So
nice.
for people listening, what we're talking about is
And I know Bond's got
he's
his
got
little
some
grease
shit
monkey
and-
too that I like and stuff. You guys got flavors. You guys got some things. You guys are both good at what you do, and you guys both have like dialed into your shit because the consistency for both of you is always there, always. But
Thank you.
I appreciate it, dude. Same.
I remember the first time that I heard of East Coast Dam was, through the pharmacist like that, and also like when Redman came down, how he was like wanting the purple weed,
Right.
Yeah,
which was
that was funny.
Which people whatever I think to me maybe he wasn't, but East Coast Dam for me made that like famous to me. Like the Buckeye Purple to me, like he, because I had never seen it until it was brought to my attention from him, and he was the only one with it. So when I was seeing bags of purple, I was like, "This is like the most phenomenal shit I ever seen. It looks amazing. Like this is like I want to like keep this forever."
That's before there was like purples and purples.
Yeah, exactly.
And purples all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
But yo, you know, he at the same time he actually ended up bringing a little bit of fucking GG4, which fucking like kind of also dominated. That was the first time that that a lot of us ended up smelling GG4. I was
The
like,
real
holy,
GG4.
the real G. I was like, holy shit. So it was like, because I have the pictures of both like of the purple. Before we ended up giving it to Red, and the I was like, yo, that open up that jar. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
It
I mean,
opened
the
up a lot
GG
of
brought the real
conversations.
bang,
That
but,
shit
but
was
the
crazy.
purple was just shit. I mean,
Yeah.
people that have been smoking for 40, 50
It
years.
just looked beautiful. It was exotic.
Super
looking.
beautiful.
It just
Right.
was
It's
special.
grown beautifully
I mean,
too.
there
No,
were-
I remember. I got
there
pictures.
were
That's
so
just
many
phenomenal.
times where I would grind it up and I would just put it in a pile, and people would be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Right.
Yeah, for real.
Why
It was like
Yeah,
it was
it's
like
so
plum.
crazy,
It was like
yo.
plum purple, like Barney purple.
No green.
right?
No green.
Yeah,
no
no
green.
Except for the stem.
Yeah.
Except for the stem.
Yeah, even though sometimes the stem was perfect.
And
too.
and some of the leaves. So here's the thing. It drew a lot of attention because I was fortunate enough to get some from Gene Traders, and you brought some.
Ah, that's right.
And I
That
got
was-
some,
you-
and I grew it for a couple of years because here's the thing. It was so fun to watch because you have all these plants, and then you have this one plant for some reason where the leaves are green, everything's green, but the bud is just fucking purple as shit.
From day one.
And it's just and then so all the people that are like, oh my god, you dipped that in food coloring, and it's not
Yeah.
like this,
Oh,
and
the
it's really
things
not
you
that
hear.
purple, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so how is it purple with the orange? No,
Inside,
no,
impossible.
it's not.
You're putting your temperatures way down. Then
No.
why are all the leaves
No.
green
It's-
as fuck?
Exactly,
Anthocyanin.
exactly. So like, and for me,
Is that how you pronounce it?
Genetics.
it was
man,
so,
straight
it was so, it
genetics.
was so. It was,
Anthocyanin?
I enjoyed growing.
Anthocyanin, yeah.
Anthocyanin.
Yeah, it was just a different. It took me years to find something like that.
It was
I
amazing. It was amazing. It was crazy.
And let's be clear, people, because people really talk shit about it. It's not.
Why? Because it's not the strongest weed, and it's not
Exactly.
this.
That's
But how
why
about
they
this?
talk shit.
But
They don't
but so
understand.
Because
what?
of the marketing of
So
the
what?
numbers.
So what?
I
Look
know-
at it. Look at it. You look at it. Just look at it. It's something different. And if you're gonna do something special and you want to be a connoisseur and you want to go somewhere where people have everything, or go be around famous people that have all the strains in the world, but you pull out a bag of purple. It don't matter. It's like you guys all pulling up in Ferraris, and then all of a sudden I pull up in a Bugatti Veyron, and it's like, hi, I'm shitting on you. You know what I'm saying? It might not be the strongest, but take a look at it. It's like, my girl's a dime, but she's a bitch. I don't care. You
that-
still gonna date her.
Oh, the new Austin
And
Martin.
you still gonna smoke that perp.
No
And you're still gonna want some to show your friends. So
Wow.
whatever.
Yeah, that's so
experience,
yeah.
man. It brought experience to smoking weed back to a bunch of people.
It was
that-
fun.
Yeah,
it was fun growing
it's
it when
always-
everything I ever grew was green. And then all of a sudden to have this plant in my garden that was purple.
Yeah.
It was just so cool. It was an experience. You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny because a lot of people don't get they don't get it, like the natural fall colors purple that come out when people certain strains do it, and your temperatures have something to do with it sometimes. But this is purple for a different reason.
No matter what. It's
It's-
just genetic. It's in
it-
there. It
it's-
is
well,
what it is.
In 90
not-
degree rooms, it's purple.
Yeah,
For real.
It's called
For real.
anthocyanin.
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 How did R.I. Deng say? He said grown purple, not forced purple.
And it's
That's what I said,
It's,
yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
medicinal.
And it was the first time that I ever experienced seeing it, having it, showing it, and having the opportunity to grow it for myself. It was an amazing experience. But that's how like I got to know him. And then I would see him at events, and I seen his merch, and I would see him. He's super humble. The guy has got awards. We're looking at trophies. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like super respectable. And then you know what I'm saying? I love what you guys have here because Pino brings what he brings to the table. Bond brings what he brings to the table. everybody's really good at what they do in this. So I can understand why you guys say it's a big podcast, because people
Number one,
there's
these
three
shows.
there's three big dimensions of what's going on here in the community with Pino knowing his statistics and knowing what's going on with all sorts of stuff, the way that he markets, the way he's doing things, the events that he throws, Bond with the way that he does his magician shit with what you guys know. I'm not going to talk about it. and he's close to Dan with what he does. I mean, and you can talk about it till you're blue in the face, but when I look at all the things that you guys bring to the table, that speaks for itself. Nothing else needs to be said. You know what I'm saying? And in this industry, a lot of people will oversell and underdeliver, and they want to talk that shit. And this industry, to me, has almost became like WWF, and everybody wants to be that dude. But there's levels to this motherfucking game.
Yeah. And you know what pisses me off is I appreciate 100%, and I'm sure he does too, and so does he. What pisses me off is those people that underachieve but overtalk are the ones that seem to always catch a break, or something stupid happens to them and they you know what I mean?
You know what that is, bro? That's just motivation for the real guys like
100%,
us.
and that's why I
And
keep
karma,
grinding
I
and
believe in
doing what I
karma.
do. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So we get to laugh at them when we're on vacation
Yep.
one day when we go, remember that fucking creep?
Well, it just sucks because they take the the breath of fresh air from certain things that they're in, and fail because they're fake and they don't know what you know what I mean.
True,
And so
but
now it's like
it's all
you know
perspective,
you
man. That's
well
how you
exactly
look at
you
them.
they've put a perspective in the other
But they're making
in
you
our
they're making you look better.
well yeah
They're making
but
me look better.
Sometimes people look at it in a bad way. You know what I mean? So
But those
like
aren't the people
vape
we're
thing.
talking to, man. Fuck those people.
No, right. I mean, that's what I'm saying is I want to be able to get to that point where
With cannabis lube.
I can
But
I can
coming
educate everybody at the counter, all those people that are in a line all the way out the door and around the corner of these dispensaries. I want to be the one to teach the people or be the person behind that counter to educate the person that's coming in and just wanting fucking a $70 vape cartridge or 10 $70 vape cartridges because it's
Not this
simple and quick and easy for them. Well, guess what, dude? It's not fucking healthy for you. So, like, you're here to get...
Yeah, but you know how you deal with that? You don't provide that.
No, exactly. But you have to educate, too, because... You can't fix stupid, but you can sure fucking educate it a little bit. So maybe they'll fix themselves.
Right, but don't take on the burden of being the professor of...
No, and I always tell people I'm not a doctor because
the
I have
layman,
tons
you know
of
what I mean?
people that come to me and say, "Oh, well, this stuff,
'Cause-
I don't like this stuff, and this is the."
Right,
and I
but
say
dude, you know what,
exactly.
dude? You know what? At the same... I know exactly where you're going with that, but like Focus just said, there's levels to this shit. And you're way up there on the levels where you're not in the education department. They're gonna get to that through experience. They always will.
That's the thing is like
You can't always fast track people through cannabis. They have to smoke mids
I'll
and
pass
see the difference to get the full appreciation for some real
but they
gold
already
that comes
have
in their
been.
hands.
And this is the thing,
Facts.
what do you think about that?
Facts. What
you
he
as
just
a
said is
cultivator, like,
facts.
as far as like you cannot fast track somebody through cannabis.
No, you can't. But you can.
No, but
No, that's why all these
I'm gonna
laws,
pat
everything
my-
is taking so long.
I'm gonna
Because
pat
they're trying to
myself
figure this
on-
stuff out.
I'm gonna pat myself on the back and say, yeah, I can fast track someone because I do it with friends that are actually
no, not that
need
you
it.
can. I'm talking about like maybe you shouldn't.
No, but you should at least.
It's like handing a
Try a
16-year-old the
little bit.
keys to a Ferrari. Here it is. Instead of them not knowing that, what did it take to get to there? Yeah, you can say it fast, but they're not going to respect it as much as us because they didn't go through it or see it.
But the way I do it is I don't hand them the keys. I say, listen, I'm not a doctor. You can have and pick whatever the hell you want on here. I only can tell you you're the one who knows your own bioassay. You know your own body. You know what that did to you. You know what that didn't do to you. Start logging it down. Figuring it out. What you like and what you don't like. And now they're that more educated of going, holy fucking shit, you're right. That did make my fucking heart beat a little too fast or whatever. You know what I mean? That's the only way you can get these people to understand that
don't smoke the mids. Don't smoke the crap fucking vape carts. You know what I mean? There's levels to this shit. Smoke the fucking pure resin heads that we work hard to grow and capture.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the cleanest. You can vape that way. That's where this is the education these people need, because a lot of people, I hear all the time, they don't give a fuck. Pre-roll, vape cart, and it's like, you're becoming part of the problem by just allowing that to happen.
This is where I think the disconnect is this. Those are the people you can talk to. The ones that have already seen the shit, been through the shit, then they get they get their hands on some real fucking product. Then they go, oh shit. You open up their eyes. I'm talking about off the street, the people that don't smoke weed. Is this a CBD? You can't bring them in out of nowhere and expect the same appreciation out of that person than someone that's seen shit, someone that smoked weed in the 70s and the fucking brickweed. Those are the people that get full appreciation for what we do.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're just a guy who grows fucking weed. We're not.
Well, that's how
I think we're a few clicks above just a fucking guy who grows weed in his basement.
Right, and that's why I find it hard for me to even bring myself to go to these dispensaries and try and have a conversation with the people that are running it.
But don't let them sit there and give that shit out.
But not in a bad way.
I don't know why
in like a marketing way where I can.
I don't know why you're wasting your time.
I would just say this: knowing that the future holds bright things. All right, and we're young, and we are this industry, whether we're in it right now at the forefront or we're coming into it. Let these guys do this shit, because you know what we could bring to the table when it's our time.
Right.
Let these guys let them set the bar so fucking low that we come in and it's like, who the fuck are these guys? What the fuck is this shit? And then the light, our shadow just fucking blocks them right out.
Yeah.
We don't even have to do shit. We have to say shit.
That's the thing
happens.
where I say I'll pat myself on the back because I know I could do that. And when that time comes, it's still gonna It's because a lot of them don't get it. It's like talk to a wall.
Right, but also realize you can't supply the world either.
No, and I get it. I realize
listen,
I'm talking to a wall, I'll walk away.
Listen,
you know what I end
up. Listen to me. I end up actually. I do have a mentor. I end up doing mentoring like that for people. I end up coming up with in the industry or different type of thing, dealing with music like that. It all depends on what like that. And I end up, you end up building. This takes time when you end up taking somebody else as far as in your wing. You cannot try to end up doing it to everybody because you also end up extending yourself out to all these individuals, which some of them do not deserve it, right? So this is not like about that you have the ability to do so.
And how
the
many
question
times
is you have to ask
because I'm so passionate about it that when I can take something like that and make some crazy fucking hash and then make some crazy fucking rosin out of it and then teach somebody or educate, I don't want to say teach, but educate somebody on how they can smoke this or ingest it to and get the full potential of it instead of what they're choosing. You know what I mean?
Yo, folk, let me ask you, man. What do you think about
Take that.
like within the cannabis industry right now? How because you besides not to like downplay any of it like that, but you're like you're like us, right? You're not just making waves just in like one industry, just dealing with the music industry like that. You end up also being in the cannabis industry as well.
I'm a licensed cultivator.
So what do you think
Rhode
about?
Island.
Tell us about a little bit about that.
I just treat it like music, man. Music, you have production, you have writing, you record it, you master it, you put it out. With this, you find great genetics, you search for your pheno, you find it, you make your mother, you take your cuts, you grow it, and you give it the best effort you can. So in the end result, it's like you see. If you skip steps or you do something throughout the whole process, you will see. So when you see someone's bud that's doing it for work, and you see something like what's in this jar right here, that's a big fucking difference. You know what I'm trying to say? And for someone that does it for as long as I've been doing it, when I look at something like this, I know wherever it came from and whoever did this loves what he's doing. And it's not even about like putting out work or doing anything. This is like passion. This is to me like an artist that goes to the studio and wants to make a hit record. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost it's the same thing. You're gonna get out of it what you put into it, for sure. And some people just don't treat it right. You start talking about parts per million. You start talking about different things, and they don't even know what you're talking about. You start talking about, do you have CO2? What? What's that? Oh, yeah. Oh, you do this? Oh, yeah. I'm blowing it up with some rock reds, and I'm doing this, and I'm adding these PGRs, and I'm just locking it up, and I'm feeding it 50 times a day. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, what YouTube videos are you watching? You know what I'm saying?
Are you talking to your plants? Because they're not telling you to do that.
No, and plants go off vibration, and they go off. Listen, these are living things. Like, people, I don't know, they're just not.
Yo, plants are smart as fuck. Mm-hmm. Plants are very fucking smart. Maybe we're not on the same level of consciousness, but plants are fucking survivors. They're smart fucking beings.
They're smart, and you know what? If you love them, they're gonna love you back.
So this is what you know. Like, you can compare it into the music, right? What you end up hearing some basic, you know, record label kind of just repeat of bullshit like that, and then you end up hearing that really like raw music just come out. Yep. That ends up being the difference between some lyrics that some dude just wrote just to make hit the charts, and somebody that actually wrote out their heart on that shit. You can feel the difference. Same thing with the bud. That they don't understand that those big gigantic grows that you see all sensational.
That's Walmart weed.
Yo,
Walmart weed, bro.
If you don't see army motherfuckers plucking leaves and taking care like that, yo, that shit is just regular shit in fancy packaging. Flat out. That's why I always say you buy the cultivator. You don't buy the name or it's GG this or that or blah blah. You buy the cultivator because the cultivator is the one's gonna end up giving you.
You can always buy a white T-shirt, bro, and you can always buy a white T-shirt with the polo horse. One makes a bigger statement than the other, and there's levels to it. One person cares enough about the quality, the stitch, the shirt, the material, the thread count. The other person just throws it on and does their thing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And you
there's
know
a
what?
difference, and I take that with the medical cannabis situation, because there'll always be that person that's willing to throw on that T-shirt, and then there's the person that wants to market it and make it big, and also give them the quality and give them everything that backs all that up and shows that they're boutique quality connoisseur level. You know what I'm saying? That's like you can go to the dealership and you can go buy an exotic, or you can go to the dealership and you can go buy yourself a Prius or whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, you're getting what you pay for, and you're gonna go to somebody that has a name that, you know what I'm saying, has consistency and has like people behind it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is in this game. There's always gonna be that McDonald's and Burger King.
Yeah, I say that all the time. Now bring that to the rec side, recreational weed. Mm-hmm. There's always gonna be Blue Label. There's always going to be fucking Budweiser.
I don't want to smoke mystery weed.
Right.
I don't know how it's been grown, what it's been sprayed with.
Mr. E weed, you might want to smoke.
Yeah.
Mr. E.
my
Mr.
strain.
E weed.
All right, Mr. E, yes. Mr. E, yes. Mr. E, no.
Yeah,
right? Like these carts. To me, that's mystery oil.
Yeah, it's hot dog water. We've been saying it. I've been saying it forever. Don't smoke these fucking things. I don't smoke them. I make them when I can get the real terpenes that are cannabis derived and my hash or rosin, and they're few and far between because those fucking terpenes are hella expensive. So to make 10 carts or 5 carts is fucking a lot of money.
People don't realize it takes a lot to make a little.
Oh man,
of quality.
Man. Like I could never sell. I could never see it happening in large quantity. Like even when it does come to rec weed, it's just
solventless carts?
It's not plausible.
Why not?
I don't even think, even if it's solventless, if this trend keeps alive, if they try to ban vaping,
well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
they're going to ban the thing itself.
The
battery, everything.
Right. Listen to me. I want you to think about this, right? You're talking about, right? You wanna end up making these products pure, right? As pure as possible. You said it's hard, and the terpenes are very, very, very expensive.
Not
so you
very,
have to,
very, but enough where it's
they are. I've researched. They're expensive. They're expensive.
So as far as continuing to have a business, this is going to be something that's a decent amount of the overhead, right? So this is something too that you can't not forget when it comes to, you know, like you can't think about it. And you're gonna end up selling it to the general public, the general market. You got to think about that. You end up selling it to somebody else that ends up wanting to like that might have more coin in their pocket. It's not impossible. You just got to think about it's a different market.
Here's what will happen though. There will be and there will definitely be a fucking shortage and run out of terpenes.
Well, because
live
takes,
derived terpene.
it takes so much weed
And
to
if
get
everyone
a little bit.
and if everyone has to use
means you gotta
cannabis
pay the
derived
price.
terpenes,
That's it. You got
Good luck buying
you
them,
want
bro.
it?
Wow.
You want
Well,
caviar?
actually, it could be the solution to all the overage that they're growing. Because Oregon supposedly last year had fucking
That's true.
a shit ton of weed. If
right?
they
But
can
now
just-
you're gonna be stuck with very.
No, they ended up figuring it out.
mean-
They kind of they figure it kind of evened out.
But still, people are growing
Still have
weed
a lot of
everywhere
shit,
now.
yeah, it's a
You
lot.
know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's people that could just grow for that
There was
because
like-
they have such a big spot.
An ounce
are
of
they?
wire for like $80.
Is it? I mean,
Like,
but
crazy,
like
bro.
this is look how fast this
If
happened,
it
bro.
was
This happened
profitable
overnight.
enough,
I know, but I'm saying this is a vape attack happened so fast. There's not people set
Epidemic!
up to have terpene companies ready to start
the
producing
thing
terpenes.
about it is now
Is there a
with
band
it,
called Epidemic?
the people that do care a shit that are doing all this stuff aren't gonna give a fuck that it's cannabis derived or not cannabis derived terpenes. They're gonna be like, terpenes? What the fuck are terpenes?
Yeah,
You
they
can't be
still don't
smoking
know.
that shit. Why are you smoking terpenes?
Little bottles are like a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
like a little like an eye drop bottle, like
Full.
like an eye drop
Full.
bottle. I've
Yeah.
looked at them.
Full.
Certain terpenes from that are cannabis derived and other ones, they were thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Yep.
For like when you go to the store and you get a little thing of Visine, I'm talking like that big.
Yeah, not even.
And I saw some of them that were like, up into the double digit thousands.
Yeah.
Like it was,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow,
It's a lot per milliliter.
it's crazy.
Well, that's
So-
why I say
so
you
if you're
can't sell it
forced-
to normal. You can't sell it to somebody. This isn't for you. If you got, if you I'm sorry, man. If you
But
you
the thing
busted over
about
a little
it,
bit,
again,
it's not for
devil's
you.
avocados, you can go to a therapy place, spa, and they burn that stuff. Terpenes, not cannabis derived. Maybe not. Depends on whoever's in the
How do you
spa.
feel about that? Is it doesn't how about
Right,
if it ends up
but-
being organic, right? But it's not cannabis derived. It's still organic terpenes.
Well,
as
that's
far
what
as
I always
adding
say. And
aroma-
I've said it before. Is terpenes are terpenes if they're taken from the orange, the lime, the lemon, or whatever, the lavender flowers, in the organic way.
Yes.
Then they are the same chemically as the ones you will find in cannabis
True.
that are smelling
But
like that.
aromatherapy parlors and stuff aren't the second most regulated product on the earth like cannabis
True.
is.
Well,
Only under plutonium.
it's still legal though for them. Cannabis.
But is it good to
But I'm
smoke?
just saying it's not tied into cannabis where all these regulations come into play.
No, right.
They slip right through.
Exactly.
And you can smoke
So
it. Just
so
as
all
regular?
these things aren't
The
about
other
necessarily
terpenes
safety.
from other
It's
plants,
just
you can just mix it up and still just smoke it regular. It'll still be fine.
it's just about regulations causing
even if
supply.
There's no
Depends
regulation
on-
on lavender oil. I mean,
I
besides like
wouldn't-
the way they provide it, but you can buy that shit anywhere.
I know you can drink it. I don't know about inhale it because I know people put
Right.
it in water.
Can you buy
or
cannabis?
Sparkling
Can
water.
you go buy
or
GG4
orange?
oil at
No, what I'm
Walmart?
saying, orange or fucking lemon, all the
Have you
other
ever
ones.
smoked
Like that.
pure terpene? Have you ever?
It's-
I'm sure you guys all have.
It
right?
gives you
Yeah,
a
it
fucking
ends
high.
up being
It's
fucking
fucking
weird.
delicious.
Yeah, it's like pure, but
For
it's like
25, 30 minutes in
it's
your
a
mouth.
mod-
It's
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 delicious.
like what
delicious.
the hell?
Is it like
The
580
first time I
a
did it, I
fucking-
couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Shout out
It's a modulation.
THC's.
Yeah,
That's who gave me my first pure terpene hit.
And even still, is it something that you guys run across all the
You
time?
were with me,
Like,
Pino,
was-
there.
Hell
that day. I
no.
said, "Come." You guys said you got to try this,
Yeah.
and it was clear, and he put it in there, and it was just like a bunch of oranges pissed in my mouth.
Yeah.
It was like,
Oh
ridiculous.
shit, that's right. Yeah.
And then I was like, "Pino, you got to
I
try
ended up
this."
trying somebody else too.
And I was
They
like,
ended up
"What the
doing some,
hell
like,
is
weird
this?" He
mixes.
was like, "It's pure
Blue-
it's pure tangy,
Blue
terpene or
River
something."
Extracts
Yep.
was pretty much the first one, I think, to do it with cannabis on that level where they were able to pump out
But yeah,
$1,000 or hundreds of dollar little vials that you'd get, 3 baby small teardrop drops full worth. And all you would
what's-
do is just
What I
touch.
saw looked like jelly, like a clear jelly.
Well, yeah,
remember?
they turn over time.
Yeah,
from
from
being
being
so
soggy,
if-
remember?
if
Like,
you've
you're
been
like, oh, yeah,
dipping
it's
things
okay.
in there,
Yeah.
so terpenes are a natural solvent.
Natural pastor.
So
I got a question for
when
you guys.
When you smell Mr. Clean,
I saw.
yep, or anything you smell is a terpene. It has especially if it comes from something organic like flowers or fruits or vegetables, avocados. They all have terpenes in them. Like that's what you're smelling. That's what's in nature for us. It's an oil, but a lot of them are solvents where
you can clean the resin or gunk off your floor or tile scum off your tile. So it's a weird thing. It really is, and it's very new. So now, kids have been smoking them and doing stuff, and they found out that they don't like it when it's too thick in the cartridge because it doesn't smoke well. So
Yeah, you gotta heat it up. They end up doing it with the lighter.
too thin. Sorry, too thin because it leaks and this and that.
Yeah.
So then they found the vitamin E oil, and that's when shit started going downhill because no one knows what vitamin E oil does when it's combusted with other fucking compounds of chemical, the weed and terpenes and stuff. You don't know what's happening.
It's tough to find just pure distillate, just like nothing added to it.
And even that, you don't want to smoke that because that was poop at one time.
Right.
You can't polish a fucking turd into a piece of gold. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck what it is.
Yes, you can, because we just talked about how we can end up isolating the terpenes. So why couldn't you end up taking out all the poop?
Because I don't trust it.
We just talked about science. Right
what do
now
you guys
with the
think?
I don't
terpenes.
trust it.
What do you
Why
think?
wouldn't you trust it? But then you end up trusting that what you actually end up like extracting the full actually is terpene. Either you believe in the science or you don't.
Because when they make the distillate, they have to use a solvent.
But
that's where I don't trust
That's
it.
a preference as far as what you prefer not to deal with to be solventless. That doesn't mean that the science is wrong and that the distillate isn't pure THC, which I prefer versus adding all these different type of flavors. Which shit I don't know.
No, and guess what? That's totally fine.
If I'm gonna
I'm okay with it.
Pen, it's just gonna be for the pure THC. I don't need to fucking taste strawberries. I don't give a shit about that.
But you don't know what that is doing in that pen that you bought to fill.
You're correct.
You know what I'm saying? So, and even still, to dab distillate, sure, if you like it.
No, not dab. Only through like pen.
No, you can dab distillate.
I know you can.
I would rather you dab the distillate than
put
it in a pen. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I just don't trust what the distillate was beforehand, dog. You've seen shit.
Yes.
I've seen
People
shit.
make gold.
Oh, I don't trust it. I just don't trust it.
I've seen, but what the big thing now is making diamonds out of it.
But if it's for you, go ahead. If it works for you, go ahead. I just don't like it.
With all this shit,
I'd rather smoke my rosin that I know I can take them buds right there, get some parchment paper, real quick, grab a fucking hair straightener, squish it, and I'll have fucking the bombest dabs you could get anywhere clean, nothing, just heat, pressure, done.
Is this going to be the comeback for flower? Does this start? Because everyone for the last 5 years,
it all starts with the flower.
But everyone's been saying, oh, it's been fucking flowers. Sales been going down, vape's been going up. It's all about vaping.
Yeah,
everyone.
That chart that you just showed me is junk now. They got to take all that vape and turn it into flower now.
But is it the comeback now?
Yeah,
does the
absolutely.
value start going up? Does everything overnight, dude? Overnight,
100%.
does the fucking?
I don't know about overnight because people are gonna.
Yo,
fight
overnight,
it,
overnight. I'm telling you right now, I already know this. I talked to people today. That shit's off the shelves in Massachusetts.
No, I know, but
all these dispensaries have to take all that shit off. Yeah, they're gonna fight it, but tomorrow.
Or they won't because they might need the revenue from the weed to go up to compensate for all the shit.
It will go up.
Right.
All right, so talk about poop, right? Change it to next subject. Talk about poop. Now we're in end of September. You know what's coming up? Outdoor harvest.
Oh, yeah.
New England. Focus. What do you think about this coming harvest? And I mean, honestly, it's coming to the end. It's been really nice weather, so it hasn't been raining. So I'm hoping people have taken care of their shit. I took care of my shit. My shits are fucking like this mimosa, oh my god, that shit is bomb right now, yo. Like,
you got it in a 10?
What do you think, yo? What do you think?
I don't know. The last couple of days, I've noticed a lot of oranging happening. Like they're trying to they're saying that because we've had some cold nights.
Cold,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
I had one die on me.
We've had some cold nights.
I had straight up brown, yo. I fucking like, lemon haze OG, fucking straight brown.
Like the last couple of weeks, it jumped a few. It skipped a couple grades, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
It's quick. It happens quick at the end of the year. You'd be like, when are these things?
I'd like to go to the first frost if possible. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the fluctuation of it's
see, and that's a great point that I actually would like to touch on. The first frost. We used to go by and this is what I find funny. This isn't a belief that I have. I just find it funny with the way the world works and time goes and the things that have happened on Earth. Back in the day, you know, the standard around here for the Indian, for the Native
I was taught by
Americans-
old schools. That's why.
Right. For the Native Americans, even back then, it was harvest moon, first frost, shit like that. Talking about climate change and stuff, everybody nowadays, in the past few days, I've always said, I get it. There's a lot of people on this earth. We've definitely played a part, and we are playing a part in what's happening and how the weather's changing and stuff like that. But at the same time, you have to remember, the sun is a great big giant star that's only growing. And we necessarily don't know how fast it's growing at. It could grow.
Dude, that's a little deep. That's a little deep. That we're
Is it
talking about
growing?
normal harvest. It's a little deep.
Is it growing?
Yeah.
Who's feeding it?
Itself. That's the fucked up part.
No, listen. All right, let's keep it back to normal harvest.
Saying, so harvest, has it changed because time has gone by so long since those standards started? Has like he said, he'd like to go to first frost, but you might not.
All right,
It's
so
not gonna make it this
So
year.
this is how I can end up explaining how to kind of like tie in what you're saying as far as like it has changed because now we end up having more hurricanes, right? So even though they end up hitting more towards down in the Caribbean, they end up kind of coming up the coast, and that kind of like residual, like that those ripples tend to cool down the environment. That's why we haven't had anything. That's why it got cold and a little not cold but a little chilly, and then now it ended up getting warm again. Because there hasn't been any kind of like, major hurricane or storm coming. Actually, there's one coming up in the next like maybe like 3 days, and it's going to end up like that. So now we have a week before it's the end of September. So we'll go to be like,
it might push a little warm front through real quick,
just a little bit, and just to get people to like but the frost isn't the problem. The frost ends up being that rain and the cold, too much humidity, and not enough heat.
Right before that, you just want to just let it. I mean, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, this is an 8-week strain. This is the da 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 da." I don't do that stuff. I know when it's done when it's done. I look at it and I look at it through. You know what I'm saying? We all know what we're looking at. You know what I'm saying? We're looking at the development and we're looking at where the trucks are looking at. And we're that's when it's done. Because I've had strains where I've let it go an extra couple of weeks and yielded like 30% more than when I was taking it down week 8 when I first started doing it and not realizing that it could have went longer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's
and I've heard farmers like farmers that do corn and this and that, they've said it where different years it's always sometimes they see a pattern in things, and things don't mature as fast as last year, and they know it's because in the spring it got super fucking warm and then got super fucking cold. And fucking switch the switch on in the plants, and they all got fucked up.
They're females. They're sensitive.
You know
what I'm saying? They're females.
Yeah, and I've seen it with just my garden of like vegetables at home. I'm sure you've seen it with tomatoes and stuff. Things happen, and you're like, why is this not like already blooming? Like last year, it was already like I was eating it. You know what I mean? And so with cannabis, it's hella weird, obviously, because you have to know. Fuck, I gotta take this down. The weather looks shitty.
Just the weather.
We can't lose this.
No, you can't. You can't let it go to finish out here. This is New England. If you are an outdoor New England, this is the toughest thing that I think anybody can end up trying to.
You only get one shot a year. One shot a year.
Yo, and like the
unless you're doing depth.
Yeah, it's been a good year. The caterpillars have been low. Like maybe a little inchworm problems. They're not too heavy. The aphids haven't been too crazy. That it hasn't been a lot of rain either. Like some, but not still followed by heat. So it's been okay. So the PM's been kind of like under control pretty much. Like it's been a decent year in my opinion. As far as like last year fucking sucked. This shit was just like
last year was one of the years that it got fucking warm in the spring, and then it got super fucking cold a couple days and fucked everything up.
Yeah,
I remember all
my
hydrangeas, all my bushes.
All you guys, because I'm taking in what all you guys have said, and if I put it all together with what he's talking about and what you're talking about, and what I can say is that we're lucky to be in a situation where we have seen brickweed. We have seen it go from that to like beasters, the OGs, to this, to that, the sours, the high headbands, and blah blah blah. Right? This is what I can say. back in the day, you know what I'm saying, they were giving it, water, guano, all these little bullshit things, molasses, shit like that, right? And they were growing this shit, right? We've educated ourselves to the point now and have done research to where people really know what this plant really needs, and genetics have come a far long way. And I can say this because back in the day, you get a seed, you put it in the dirt, you let it grow, it was going to be some shit, right? Nowadays, you can take genetics of a good plant, take a cut, put it outside, give it some water, give it a couple of things, give it some beneficials, give it whatever, the little things, and you're still going to have some flame if you have good genetics.
Yeah, and that's what it's always been about.
And we've seen it all. We're at an age where we have seen it come to this, where dudes was getting, you know what I'm saying, literally buds looked like feathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done it all.
Listen.
Popping all those seeds out.
Yeah, I'm 40 years old. I'm not afraid to admit it. I've seen it. When I was in high school, like there was more seeds and sticks in the bag than actual smokable material.
Oh, yeah.
You feel what I'm trying to say?
And you know what's funny? You didn't even complain. That was just normal fucking
Nope.
bag of weed.
Now you get a bag of fire and you get a seed in it.
Ugh.
Most people are bitching, right? Me, I'm probably germinate the bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's where you have an entrepreneur and a hater.
Yeah, the gem.
Oh, I didn't pay to smoke seeds. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Guess
you don't know
what?
what that seed could be.
You don't even know what that seed's worth. That seed's worth more than your bag, bro.
Your cup's half empty, dog. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
See ya.
Those are people that I can't think on their wavelength.
It makes my brain
People
hurt.
sleep on bag seeds, man.
They're happy to hate. You know what I mean? That's their problem.
They are.
Yeah.
Listen, the only respect nowadays seems to be disrespect from all angles, and it's shitty. So surround yourself with positive people, because people will try to drag you down and say whatever. But you know what? Hate is really envy, bro.
Oh yeah, you have a song.
Someone
that
gonna take
says
the
that.
energy and try to hate on you. There's something about you that they like that they cannot do. So their energy, you know, and rather than congratulate you, they're gonna say something, try to bring you down, because it just makes them feel a little bit better.
Yep.
And it sucks. It sucks.
I mean, unless your weed sucks, then I'm just gonna fucking tell you shit sucks.
Oh yeah.
I'm not hating it, just
that poo poo. You don't even know how many times I've seen Mendo get weed from people, fans, and you know, this is just the reality of it. People, sometimes y'all don't bring the best. You just bring some poop, and I've literally seen it go into a frisbee, like it was gonna get rolled up, and then as soon as the people left, see ya, right in the trash or on the ground. Like they won't smoke it, and I started being like, wow, you're right. Like I don't want to smoke that either. Like I only smoke what I grow and what you guys grow, because I know how you guys grow, and I'll smoke your weed and I'll smoke your weed and I'll smoke your weed, but I ain't smoking some fan that comes and they give me some crazy bud.
All PM'd out.
Yeah.
Tell them that they had ice crystals in week 1.
Who the fuck knows? Yeah.
Yo, my shit's mad icy, bro.
Crazy.
I'm like, yo, you got issues, dog.
It's
They're
crazy.
trying to get you to smoke their shit.
But sometimes people come hella correct, and you're like, woo.
Hey.
I mean, I've seen us. They've left with a pretty good amount in a jar when we leave the high times or whatever.
I like running into those,
I always respect.
especially at Gene Traders. So we end up running into people like.
I
you
respect
come
it,
back.
but
Yeah.
I can't smoke like you know, you look at it. You look at
Yeah,
it.
for
I
sure.
look at it, inspect it, and I'll say, if I have to break it open to smell it, I'm most likely not gonna smoke it.
That's some shit right there.
Little stem grab. It's-
But see, you get
no
to
wonder
that
why he
point.
smokes his backwards with his pinky out. I see.
Yeah.
Smoking that flame.
But see, Bond, you have to get to that point.
Smoking that flame. Yeah, I'm putting my pinky up for this
Where's
one.
my fucking pinot?
Listen, if I gotta crack your nug open to smell it, hey, he said I'm not smoking it.
Seriously, like if you open that jar, it smells like plums.
People don't appreciate
and
the curing process.
You've been there popping seeds
That's
out,
what
right?
it is. That's
The
it.
curing process.
That's something we.
is-
I think we
Oh,
still
man.
talk
Yeah.
about that
You've-
curing
you've
and the
grown.
drying
They
process.
don't.
Like,
that.
matters.
But I'm
so
saying-
deeply.
What? That's the everything. Why are you gonna go all the way to the finish line and then skip across? You know what I'm saying? It's like people don't realize that curing is everything. Like everything. Patience is a talent, and patience is key. And if you're gonna go do all the work all the way up to that point, and you're not gonna cure it properly, you're just gonna dry it to get it out. Man, you missed the biggest step, bro. And then you know what I'm saying? Like that's a big step. And that shows the difference between someone that has the looks and someone that has the looks, the smell, the flavor, the everything, because that person took the time. They weren't in a rush to get it out. They wanted to make sure that their name was important enough that when they put it out, that it meant something.
And what's funny about that?
Those are the ones that are going to stand tall in the end.
If you have good genetics, you don't even really have to. It just does it for you. And you got to get to that point, I guess. It just cures itself for you. Like, it's just, you know. You just know. You
gotta have a good, clean environment, man. You gotta have good humidity. You have your humidity and your temperature and the environment is like very controlled, and you know what you're doing. Some people like, oh, I'm hanging in this room. It's dry in like 2 days. I'm like, oh boy.
Wow. Yeah. Like you just ended up going through the process. How was it? Like, did you run into a few rainy days?
Slow cure, bro.
As far as like, did it,
I mean,
just
sometimes
flood your humidity and shit,
it's
or
fucked
everything
up.
was just like pure
I know you told me about the environment thing. It's crazy.
Out west, when they do the outdoor at Green Shocks, where Mendo is, he's got that fucking room in that garage at like, oh man, at some points 92 degrees.
Ouch.
60-70% humidity, and literally all the outside leaves because it's so hot. And these are big buds, so these aren't indoor buds. It's kind of like hard to like picture that thing and bigger.
With that heat and that humidity, I'd be worried a little bit.
Right.
We're talking about big outdoor calories.
All the outside leaves just go around the bud, and he instantly knows when. Now this is a guy that's been growing for probably 35, 40 years, maybe. He just knows when to buck it down, and he gives. It all goes in batches, you know what I mean? And he has one highest terpene level or award at the Emerald Cup. It was fucking astonishing numbers for flower. So these techniques are unique in their own ways.
Everybody got their system.
Right. And I mean, you have to, and that's the thing, like I said, 35, 40 years, he knows when things need to get done, and he's got the team to do it and the right people doing it.
Who's that? My phone. Oh. Blowing up over here.
Yep. Is that my wife? Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. It is the most crucial point, and knowing when to take and harvest.
That's crazy.
I think every point's the most crucial point.
You just gotta know
you can't
exactly.
You can't even walk in there. It's so hot. You gotta walk in and you're like, oh my god, what are we doing in here? What are we getting? Okay, this is on this hanger. Yep, grab these. And you grab them and you're out. Because you're like, when you come out, you're like, oh my god, it's fucking hot in there. But he fucking swears by it, and then it proofs in the pudding in the test.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? He.
That's insane. Yeah, I never thought. Damn. That's crazy. I've tried to follow the kind of more, the
Mendo
basic.
boys were blown away. They were like, no way you're going to do that.
That's crazy.
But, yeah. And even still, they've tried it at, when they grow their personal.
Because I was told like at 88, they start to kind of like, they end up like, the heads ends up popping and shit, and
I hear how it gets super spongy when it's like that though. It's like oh no.
And it's funny. I've seen I've seen his bud. A good amount of it. A year later, you open up the jar or the bag. Couldn't tell. Like it was picked yesterday.
Wow.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's interesting.
You like a slow cure, East Coast now?
And it is a slow cure.
I prefer a slow cure.
Yep. Like ideally, what do you like? At least a week?
I mean,
at least?
Yeah, I like
at least a week.
Right.
To get the gas exchanges right.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, ideally, if you can go 4 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Like fine wine.
But I mean, shit.
And then
but the thing is, if you have the genetics,
it's hard to keep.
I know.
If you have the genetics,
keep around that long.
It is.
Like, I'm
right.
just gonna take my time. It is hard to take your time.
That's the difference in levels. Like having the patience to like really wait and let it be at its at its peak.
Yeah, and I mean perfect.
And then the ones that we gotta get it out.
Perfect example of that is the space bomb. Did you smell it? The hash that they brought to the Freedom Rally. So I made that a year ago. It was a year old, and it was
the stinkiest shit. And it got like, and we've done it obviously that experiment over time because they probably have hash that's older than that. So we can tell every time we pull out something, we're like, holy shit, it tastes like this now. It's not, and it smells like this now though. And it's so crazy how I love doing that. But there's some genetics, like I said, when you find them, you can hang it for 5 days a week. It's crunchy. You buck all the fucking shit off, take all the fan leaves, the sugar shit off, do your thing with it, put it in a jar. You open it the next day and you grab it and you're like, wow, I could fucking smoke this right now. And sometimes it's there. And you're like, damn, dog, like, this is only going to get better.
If that's what we're saying, if I keep even better.
It gets better.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, like,
yeah,
there's always that.
You know your homie that, like, you know, took down and did his thing, and then you get it right, and then you have it, you do your thing for a little while, and then you go back to the one that you put aside, right, and it just bangs. Bangs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know.
It's like, what the fuck did I do?
You're like, whoa.
It's like, that's not supposed to.
I have a piece of hash in my fridge at home that's 3, almost 4 years old now that I haven't touched. I'm just letting it do its thing.
You need to.
He's over here
You
hoarding
can
hash.
do it. I can help you.
The hash hoarder.
No, seriously, I really don't have that much hash, but
I'll
that
get a
one
picture before we fucking stop.
that one I keep for sure. Just because I want to see. And even like that thing that you have over there, the East Coast Dam,
What thing?
I would try and save a piece of that and try and save it for as long as possible.
This stuff?
The rest of the ball or a piece
the
of
temple ball?
a piece of the ball. Yeah,
I love this thing.
I know.
You guys see this?
Looks like a nice piece of chocolate, dog.
All right.
And I mean,
Delicious looking.
if we could have kept that in a cellophane,
Oh, I know. I couldn't.
it would stay gooey.
Yeah, I
would've
seen you
stayed
like
gooey.
shaving it. It's
I
fucking
had to.
dope.
I had to.
Oh man, that video. I was like, oh, that looks so
But see, now the aging process with that has slowed. Now it's like kind of done.
No, it ain't.
I mean,
No, it's not. You know it's not. If he
I
ends up,
just
if he ends up
know
like
what it would
putting
be
it back in a
if
container
it
again.
was in the cellophane, even in the container like that, like taken out and taken out and taken out, it ends up like
I'm smoking it though.
I know.
We'll
I know.
age the next one.
It does. It looks like a fucking
Let's do the next
crazy
one.
piece of chocolate.
I love it. It's the perfect addition to any joint.
That's why I did it for you, because I knew you'd fucking.
I use it. I don't collect temple balls. I use them.
Oh, then they're nice to have for sure.
But anything else anyone want to add for the podcast? I know it's getting late. Guess we got a recording.
Good combo. So many topics.
No,
Anything else anyone want to ask?
tell them where they can find you. I know
Yeah.
they can find you. There's stuff on YouTube. There's I know you don't even know about some of it because somebody else just did it because it was definitely needed to happen for sure. And I think a lot of people are probably gonna hear this. So
Yeah, they want to hear a song. My favorite song is La La La. PHOKUS on YouTube. La La. Roll one up, smoke it, take a listen, just vibe out. That's all I can say.
You'll be hooked.
You can find me in the garden. That's where I'm at.
no Instagram, no nothing.
Man, I'm just low key right now.
That's
If they
cool.
want to find me, I'm sure they can do it.
That's cool.
I'm so low key.
That's cool. Well, they just hit me up and be like, "Yo," because it's happened before.
No, thanks for having me. The space is tight, man. I felt at home. No anxiety this whole time.
Sweet.
Good.
And
Sweet.
I always have anxiety. But
We smoking enough?
We keep it. We had to keep it. You know, we've cut back on the blazing. We used to keep it going nonstop.
So yeah,
plenty of stuff to smoke here.
if there's any sponsors out
Good
there
stuff.
or anybody that
Variety.
thinks they could give us a sponsor so we can maybe get a little updated, we'll be able to find a spot and
You guys got to do this live and do video.
Not just, well.
We
So
don't see
we're
you
planning.
guys.
So we're planning.
What's you guys' upgrade? What's the next up? What's the upgrade for this?
We have already. We're
Tell
already
'em.
working on it. We're already working on it. So we're gonna end up
I
doing
guess
some
we could
special.
say it. We could say
I
it.
mean, like
Fuck it.
it's almost
coming.
there. We're gonna end up. Let's just say that we're gonna take this, this little show on, I guess on the road.
Live.
Like in
Literally?
set, you know, like we're gonna end up doing the video thing. We're gonna end up kind of
Should.
like that, but I think we're gonna be able to try to like possibly have a few people watch at the same time, so be able to like not to let all the details out, but we're getting ready to put something a little bit like that just to kind of get the fans involved too.
Yeah.
which I think would be cool.
A,
Yeah.
Feel
a
closer to you
live
guys.
rolling show.
See you.
A live rolling.
That would be cool. Because if they saw you and they got to see it
What's wrong
and
with
hear
saying
it,
it?
they would feel more.
No, I guess
feel more
I
personal.
guess we just trying to like So go ahead. You want to talk about it?
Have you ever heard of the MVP party bus?
Yeah.
We want to do a show on that.
Mm.
Bring 20 guests on
Mm-hmm.
and have a couple hours that we roll around Mass and hit up a few spots, maybe some food spots. Do a lot of chilling back and forth. I know we got enough fans that would fill up that, that party bus that would want to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Give everyone some goodies for joining us, and then maybe if they got something they want to bring to the table, they got a product, they got an idea, or they got a business that they want to talk about, we'll give them some time, get on air, let them talk. Content is everything, and our
Right.
3 hours is part of their 3 hours. They get to go home with a goodie bag, they get to go home with a memory, and they get to go home with the episode that they can keep forever and keep playing and playing to relive all those memories that they were there
You guys
for.
gonna start a channel and do this? Like have a channel and
we
do
might
this?
do
We
it.
want to do
live,
it, but
or we might record it and then try and start. the
yeah, we got to
channel
figure
or
out all the
whatever.
Do a
logistics.
YouTube
of it.
channel.
Yeah,
Do
we
a
end up
YouTube
doing
channel,
it
do
one side live, and then we end up doing it like we end up re-putting it out with like multiple angles from like different cameras.
We need
or
an
whatever.
intern.
It's just like it's the point of it too. Now, of course, along the whole ride, we're gonna be burning it down like we normally do, like any other a session. It's gonna be super entertaining because I know like just different
Probably
like
even do this on the pharmacist bus.
that's true.
You guys have all the network that you guys need to make this happen.
That's so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot
You
of
guys
fun.
have plenty of
So
connections
just
to make it happen.
for the sake of just like
The
including
upgrade.
other people,
Your
that's it. It's
podcast
like-
needs the upgrade. If the podcast, now you're gonna do vlogs and have a channel and then let them see you guys and like make it more personable, make them feel like they know you and it's more personal. You know what I'm saying? And take this thing to the next level. If you guys have already made it this far, now it's time to take it to the next level. We've been talking about levels all night. Now it's time for you guys to take this to the next level.
It's just funny. This isn't like our, you know what I mean? This is like our outlet for. This is where we chill.
And look
so
what
we-
you've done. And look
Yeah.
what you've
I
done
know,
from
but it's
here.
just like
Look what you've done from here. Now you're going to take it to a bus and you're going to travel and do this other thing. That's what I'm talking about. Upgrading. You guys have drive and ambition. You don't want to sit around and become stale and stagnant in a revolving door of just what it is. It's like, you know,
we need to put it out there.
taking what you guys have, creating the new formula. You already got the recipe. Now add some new ingredients to it and take it to the next level and do that. You know what I'm saying?
We should try and find somebody out
You
there
guys bring a lot to the table.
that can.
Thank you, sir.
You guys are a
Yes.
voice for people that don't know how to communicate about this, or they don't want to talk about it, but they're gonna listen to it and they can relate to you guys, and they know what you're talking about. It's all relevant. It's all good conversation. So dudes is blazing up listening to this conversation. They feel like they're here with you guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's common feedback we get from a lot of people.
Yeah, a
you
lot
know,
of
that-
cultivators
I
too.
can feel it. Just
Trimming, just sitting there, just
all
listening
that.
to like, just like, yo,
Yeah,
what
shout
up?
out to all those people.
Don't cut your
you know
fingers,
what I'm
man.
saying?
Watch out your fingers.
If there's
Shout
any-
out to everybody who's ever's listening right now. Shout out to all you guys.
Fuck
You
yeah.
guys is the real MVPs.
Right.
Yeah, thanks for the support.
If it wasn't for them listening, it really wouldn't. I don't think
We wouldn't be number one.
It wouldn't do much. Yeah.
That's you guys' family.
But if there's anybody
That's
out
the
there
fam.
that thinks they can maybe help us, maybe some type of little internship, something where
Get
We're
your-
gonna end up be looking. Yeah, we're looking for an intern.
well, somebody that can get us other guests, because it's tough for us to, find a lot of,
We're busy.
You're right.
We
Right.
It's
have
not
our
only
own.
it's
like,
not
you
only
know,
guests. It's managing our
well, there's other stuff that comes with it, but
RSS feed or whatever that's called to get it, be in charge of getting our voices out to as many
yeah,
topical spots that it's relevant to be in, because we can't, as we said before, there's only so many hours in a day for one man. You know what I mean? We can't put our energy into figuring out Twitch and all that shit. I can't even start thinking about it if I want to be good at growing weed.
yeah,
What do I want to be good at? So I know someone's good at all that shit.
right, and it's a chance for somebody to kind of
We
get
all
their
got
foot in
roles.
the door and get other marketing
You'll hang out with some
People
You'll gain some
involved in your
experience
life,
with some
right.
industry people.
So people's always constantly asking us, how do we get in? How do we get in? How do I get in? How do I get in? Well, this is a way for somebody, right? There's many ways in the cannabis industry. It doesn't have to always be cultivating, but you know, if you end up wanting to like that, you got to have other skills. You can't just wear one hat. There's not a single man in this room that wears one hat.
I got 5 patents, bitch.
Like, I mean, like,
Bitch.
yo, I mean, you know, like, dealing with platinum artists, you know, patents and shit like that, like award-winning shit like that. Just
You're not a
create-
bitch. I just saying.
What the fuck you mean? All this shit that it's not, you got to bring something to the table. You got to know, you know, a little bit about, like, you know, organized. Like, we're not just gonna take somebody. I understand might be somebody with super motivated shit like that, but honestly, we don't have time to fucking train somebody. We're entirely way too fucking busy. We need somebody
right. We
that's
need
like that, and
somebody
we'll
that's
introduce
already-
you into the
right.
cannabis industry.
Right.
That's what we're offering.
And I'm gonna be picky, so come correct.
And Bond's picky, super picky.
Yeah, he won't even smoke your butt if you got to crack it to smell it.
Nah.
So he's gonna let you be an intern.
I gotta
Don't even talk about you for grow. Be like, yo, I grow. So I'm like, nah, I don't want to hear none of that shit. I want to know about your
Shout out Old
your
E
organizational
from
skills.
Mendo, because that's what I heard him say it to me one day. He's like, if I had to crack the fucking weed open to smell it, he's like, and I was like,
on their first
dog, you're 100% right. I got you 100%.
on their first day, they're gonna have their bag in their pocket, but they're not whipping it out until they see all the shit we got in the room first. Then they're gonna just be like, maybe next session I'll break some more shit. That I can
Yeah,
wrap.
when I'm ready for it, I think this will do it, and everybody goes like, shit, my shit's still running.
That's the toughest part of my job.
And we're gonna grill the person. What you got in your pocket? What you got?
What you got?
You got anything in there? You got anything to show us?
I smell fire.
Maybe that
I
should be a
know
thing, a
what
whole
I'm saying.
interview session. Be like, who are you? And, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Let's roll this up, though.
All right, well, thank you for taking your time out, Focus,
yeah.
man. Just like we're, you know, I understand, you know, you're a busy man. You got a lot of things going on, always running around doing your thing. We really appreciate you taking this time out to, you know, have a quick session with us. Joint
Quick.
committee, man.
It was like a short little vacation for me. I loved every minute of it. To hang out with 3 people that I respect a lot in the same room and bomb a couple down and talk. This right here is like, this is good downtime for me.
Cool, man. Let's
Enjoy
do it again.
Shit, man.
You know what I'm saying? 5 patents, bitch.
Multiple hats.
Yeah. And on that note, you guys, good night, man. Well, not good night, but we'll check you guys next session, Joe.
Hell yeah, joint committee.
We out.
Number 1, East Coast.
End of session. The Joint Committee thanks you for listening.